on a Friday afternoon. It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Bradford Bruns in on the dials today. We will be joined by Matt Adams. Big cities coming in from 3 to 4 today, so we're going to have a little fun in that hour as well. Not a lot of fun for Matthew Liberatore last night, guys. Wow. Bradford, I will say this, that that loss is on Marshy.
Yeah.
You knew this was coming.
I knew. So,
player prop, baby.
Last night, I leave here, I go to the gym, and I'm walking on the treadmill. No, I'm trying to get my cardio up. I got a big ball hockey regional coming up next weekend.
How about that?
So I gotta start running more.
Love it.
And I'm on my way here. I'm listening to the radio. Cardinals up 2-0. I'm like, man, this is great. This is how it should be. I step into the gym, and then the second inning happens, the bottom of the second. I'm like, oh, no, this is all my fault. Everyone around me has no idea. But everyone that listened yesterday knows that this loss is on me. It was over before it started, and it was my fault.
The number 5 was relevant. Not strikeouts, but doubles. How does a team compile 5 doubles in a single frame? That's what happened.
Oh, man. I don't know. But, Bradford, are you aware of what Marshy did to Cardinal Nation yesterday?
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yeah. He basically said the Royals stink. They're 15 games under 500. They're terrible.
Well, now they're 14. Yeah, it's not my fault that, or it is my fault. It is my fault that the team lost to the third worst team in Major League Baseball, a team that is bottom half in offense. It's my fault that Libby only went 1 2/3.
Team that had dropped 7 of its past 9 at home. The list goes on and on.
All my fault.
It does.
Marshy, you'd just do better next time.
And I'll take responsibility for all of it. You can hold me accountable. But I think the Cardinals get 1 tonight.
All right. As long as we don't comment on how terrible the Royals are.
It's a great city. Our man BK's heading there right now.
Yeah, and I said this. I know the stadium's old and probably needs a bunch of upgrades, but from the outside, when you look at that stadium, it's cool looking, man. They got the backdrop, they got the little waterfalls, and I don't know. I think it's a unique stadium. I do. We'll leave it at that. So you talked about already, Marshy, Matthew Liberatore with 1 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 2 Ks, gave up a home run. It was just not a great day for him. The doubles that he gave up, too, just double after double after double. 5 in a row, you said?
5 in the second inning alone. Mix it between the home runs and the doubles. Yeah, just extra base hits galore.
Yeah, throwing an error by Nelson Velasquez in left field.
Yeah, that was weird.
Not his finest evening.
And Jordan Walker, the one out by the wall there, that was kind of funky, too. I know he's making a heck of an effort trying to catch that ball, but he doesn't get it. You wonder what that looks like if Walker makes that catch and Velasquez makes that catch as well. And, we know what it ended up looking like, and that was not pretty.
Well, and the bullpen didn't really do any favors for the Cardinals as well.
The bullpen didn't know they were going to have to pitch almost the entire game.
That's fair. I was telling you guys when I came in, like, if you really, I never once thought the Cardinals, outside of the first inning, had a chance to win that game. But they scored 6 runs.
You had 13 hits.
However, you did look at a strike right down the middle with the bases loaded.
As a hitter.
That's tough.
Again,
they had the bases
Velasquez.
loaded a few times and couldn't pull through. But it is what it is. It's just one game of 162. I'm sitting in Carey's spot, I feel obligated to say that.
Here's what we know, though. You mentioned it. The offensive production, yes, coming against an inferior team. Yes, coming on the road. Yes, picking up 13 hits, going 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Burley and Velasquez each had a pair of opportunities, couldn't come through. But what's the lead here? The lead, you have to monitor the continued decline of one Matthew Liberatore. We can talk about the bullpen having to shoulder an incredible workload, Jamie, last night. But the fact of the matter is that this was a drastic microcosm and extension of what this entire month, frankly, has been for the left-hander, okay? When you look now throughout the course of 3 starts this month in June, 10.45 ERA.
Is that bad, Bradford?
1.93 whip. And we haven't seen the swing and miss whatsoever in nearly a month, going back to May the 25th when he fanned 10 against Milwaukee. Extremely hittable. Right now, we're not seeing anything remotely close to a diet of ground balls. I don't know exactly where you go, what you do from here, but I think we're past the point now of even considering, Marshy, okay, should you pull the starting plug on Matthew Liberatore in the interim? Here's the problem, though. So many individuals want to liken this to, all right, Chaim Bloom, you've been very, very aggressive, uber aggressive, and you've pulled all of the right strings when it comes to promoting the offensive guys and making sure to give your lineup the best chance of succeeding in the here and now. Not looking toward the future, making it happen right here, right now. To me, the optics come into play in a different way when you're talking about the guy who was your opening day starter. That does make a difference to me, and you can talk about piggybacking in the interim all you want, but that's not going to fix the problem that right now your opening day starter in Matthew Liberatore is without question the weakest link in your rotation.
Yeah, and look, unless you're ready to make a switch from, what was it, Dobbins, bringing him up, and maybe Liberatore goes to the bullpen.
He's not ready yet. Maybe you want to, but he was sent down just 1 week ago. You have to wait at least one more week.
I'm talking.
Yeah, generally.
In the near future.
Sure.
Not like today.
Right.
Because Liberatore doesn't start today or any time in the near future either. Yeah, so I don't know. I think Cardinal fan in me says, yeah, we got to do something about this. Chaim Bloom mentality inside my head is we got to let him figure it out.
Well, it's funny.
We as an organization and the player, we have to let him figure it out.
It's funny you say that. Benjamin Hochman had a piece on the St. Louis Post-Dispatch yesterday before Liberatore's start, and this is what it had to say. Ollie Marmol, who vouched for years before everyone else jumped on the bandwagon this summer, not only isn't surprised by Libby's recent outings, but also expected it. Expected it? This is what Ollie Marmol had to say. There are going to be points in the season that look this way that are part of the growth. Talking about Matthew Liberatore, who's just in his second season of starting. Let's remember that. When you commit to something, you don't have to use the word commit when it's easy. You have to commit when it's not easy, when it's difficult. And the reason we say we're going to commit to these guys in the rotation is because we know there's going to be times where the easy thing to do or say is to react and say, let's flip them. That's the opposite of being committed to something. So I don't see them doing anything
I said, this is
different.
This, guys, as much as we don't like it or maybe we can't stand it, the path for the team this year was growth and development, and we're going to take our lumps. Nobody thought, I almost to a man, nobody thought in the Cardinals organization they would be in this spot. And so they have to find out if Matthew Liberatore, if this is a speed bump for him or if this is who he is. One way or another, it can no longer be kicking the can down the road. It's got to be, is he or is he not a major league starting pitcher?
So last night I was texting with BK. We were just kind of talking about the situation, the game last night, and I was like, dude, like, what do you do? Like, how do you change things? I mentioned to him, like, could you start a different catcher? Like, because Pages is his guy.
Yeah.
Could you do that? I'm not saying that will change anything, but, I mean, you've played professional sports. You were in the NHL. Were you superstitious at all? Did you need the same routine? Could you switch it up? Do you think that would help somebody?
It could, for sure. I would try it. Why not?
And I'm not saying, like, Pages is the reason why Matthew Liberatore
sometimes a guy can get in his own head, or maybe it's the game that he's calling behind there. Either way, I mean, Liberatore still has to execute the pitches, which he really wasn't. He was all around the strike zone with really very, very little as far as competing stuff.
Yeah, there was one pitch that Pages was hoping that would be inside, and it was just like up in the zone and boom.
That goes back to when Contreras was catching and they tried to throw him under the bus. I remember many times, like, Contreras is lined up down and inside, and the pitch is like straight up on the other side of the plate. And they're like, oh, he's calling the game. Well, how about you pitch it where he's set up?
Now there's controversy in Boston, the great Contreras exchange. Hey, getting it back to the main point here.
I did see that.
It's always something, isn't it?
What did I miss?
It's always something.
Wilson Contreras, he fielded a ground ball at first base, and Sonny Gray was running to first, thinking that Contreras would flip him the ball, but Contreras took it himself, and they ended up hugging at first base. They, like, ran into each other and, like, hugged each other.
One took it better than the other.
Sonny Gray was actually the one who was kind of giggling about it, and Wilson Contreras just straight face, threw the ball around, didn't make nothing.
That's it.
It's weird.
That team is terrible. They have their own problems.
Flat out awful. And we have complaints here, and we have complaints we think they're justified in terms of, okay, why can't you do anything right here, right now about Matthew Liberatore? But also another reality, guys, is that unlike the offensive side of things, you had guys in Memphis, you've had guys for the Redbirds banging down the door to get to the major league level. It's not as if you have this influx of big-time options at the AAA level, okay? It's different than how the picture was painted at the beginning of the season. Do you have a Richard Fitz to step in as the next guy in line immediately? No, you don't. Has Quinn Matthews made that jump? Has he made the leap to the next level? No, he has not. Is TK Roby available to you for injury-related concerns? No, he is not. So it's not as if you have all these guys lined up and champing at the bit to be able to get that promotion. Unlike on the offensive side, you couldn't deny a Blaze Jordan any longer. You had to make those moves.
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see how they work through this. I don't expect to see any kind of a change anytime soon, and that will be frustrating to Cardinals fans. One can only hope that Matthew Liberatore figures something out.
So we just spent this entire segment with just a negativity.
Well, man, speak for yourself.
United States up 1-0.
Well, so we got that going for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take it to those Aussies today.
Who needs your best player? Who needs him?
Sorry, Nathan Walker. You're the enemy today. All right, speaking of hockey, Jonathan Toews, a favorite here in St. Louis from his Blackhawk days. Yeah, I just puked in my own mouth a little bit. Well, he reminds us that not all farewells are created equal, and that's okay. We're going to talk about that next, right here on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. Don't slow down. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
Well, we talked yesterday about the aging superstar, and sometimes they don't know when to retire. Ronaldo was the source of that. Carey was watching Portugal play and listening to the announcers talk about how they can't even play this guy anymore. That's funny, eh, Marshy?
I just think it's funny.
Anyways, Jonathan Toews, who we know him here in St. Louis for his many years as a Chicago Blackhawk. 3 Stanley Cups for Jonathan Toews, gold medal, and then he took a 2-year hiatus. And almost Aaron Rodgers-like, to be honest with you. There's a lot of gray area in his 2-year absence. Then came back and signed with the Winnipeg Jets. Only scored 29 points. It was really somewhat of an unproductive year for Jonathan Toews. But he did figure something out, Marshy.
What was that?
That he's no longer NHL caliber and that he's going to retire. So he announced his retirement today. And he is, I mean, let's be honest, he's one of the greats, man. I won't put him up there with like Gretzky and Lemieux and all those, but as far as like leadership abilities and the way he guided his team to Stanley Cups, and he was always praised for how great of a leader he is. So one hell of a career for Jonathan Toews.
Yeah, and I think with this situation, too, he sort of gets to go out on his own term.
Right.
Which I think is huge for athletes. You don't, especially with how everything went down. You know, you mentioned the couple of years that he was out with the chronic immune responsive syndrome. You know, the long COVID. You know, that's tough. Like, that's tough because of how decorated his career was to essentially not go out on your own terms. I feel like that's difficult. So for him to come back, he got to play in Winnipeg, which was really cool.
His
Hometown. And unfortunately for that city and that team, unable to make a playoff run. I think it's a cool story that he is able to essentially end his career where he started playing hockey.
Yeah, it is. It's a great. I go back to yesterday's conversation. Yes, so many guys who hang on for so long, and Jonathan Toews didn't have a very great exit out of Chicago. He himself talked about how he was out of shape, wasn't able to be what he wanted to be. You know, maybe he was feeling the effects of all that long COVID or you know, whatnot. Gave another shot, or took another shot at it with Winnipeg. He was, I don't want to say he was an irrelevant player because that's completely rude, but he wasn't a guy that other teams focused on anymore. And he's at least got enough common sense to realize that, okay, it's time to move on to the next chapter in his life, his career. You know, who knows what that might be? Maybe he's front office bound somewhere.
And this really just reaffirms for us as well, guys, that not everyone, in fact, it's rare that you get to actually have the Elway treatment, right? The back-to-back, the storybook finish, okay? I think it's wildly impressive on one hand, and you cited, Jamie, some of the statistics. Yeah, he only produced 29 points. The fact that he suited up for each and every one of those 82 games, that means something to me. It means something to him. And it's kind of the inverse of what you guys discussed yesterday, too, insofar as I think there are so many occasions in modern sports we see some guys basically defying or kind of staving off father time for a while longer. We won't get into LeBron here, Jamie, I promise. We won't get too deep into the weeds there, but...
Are you sure? I was really into that conversation we had last time.
It's only 2:20. Maybe give it a little time. But by the same token, in all seriousness, I don't know if there is, in today's society, in today's culture, as much of an appreciation for somebody being able to do it in the way that Jonathan Toews still pulled it off, okay, after that hiatus. However you want to categorize it, coming back, competing, and doing so at the highest level of his particular sport, and then still being able to go out, Marshy, as you stated, basically on his own terms. To do that at the highest of levels, everybody is not going to be able to come remotely close to that. And when you're still doing it and you are competent, if you are relevant at the NHL level, at the NBA level, what have you, that is incredibly impressive. But basically going out with a whimper, I think that's how a lot of people categorize it now. And I don't think that's fair. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's fair. But you know, some guys hang on too long. Some guys aren't able to perform the way they were. And in this case here, for Jonathan Toews, he earned the chance to come back again.
Yeah.
If that is a fourth-line player, takes 2 years off, he's not finding a contract anywhere. not a chance, let alone any contract worth of a dollar value at all. Jonathan Toews, his reputation is what they signed him on. And all things considered, from what I understood from people in Winnipeg, he was very good in the locker room, showed up to work every day with a workman's mentality, and paid off. So sometimes it's okay to have those guys around.
So I sort of want to take this locally. You look at Jonathan Toews and his career. He only touched 80 points one time in his career, and that was after the Blackhawks won their 3 Stanley Cups.
Wow.
When we look at this Blues roster right now, when you combine what he brought to the ice along with what he brought to the locker room, do the Blues have that within their locker room?
No, not really. Just because Toews was unique in the fact that he also, he was a penalty killer. He played really well defensively. So from a playing, like, physicality, grinder style, you could compare a Jake Neighbors kind of ish, leadership qualities, all that. But Jake Neighbors, I hope he gets to 80 points. I don't know if that's in the forecast, though. I think Jake's probably a 60-point player, which is nothing wrong with that. So, and then you take Robert Thomas, who is an 80-point player, but you look at the overall game, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. But then you look at the leadership qualities, and that's to be determined. Like, we don't know. As of right now, from what we've seen in the past, it's not even close. But that doesn't mean he can't grow into a better leader of this hockey club. So right now, the Blues don't have the combination of all that together in one player.
Man, I'm looking at his face-off win percentage. Oh, it's stupid. Just hovering in the high 50s for most of his career. Almost touching 60% on the face-off dot.
Ton of games, too. Holy cow. When you can maintain that mark.
How many total games do you
I
have?
played 1,149.
Wow.
That's regular season games. Of course, they had a lot of deep playoff runs.
Yeah. That's impressive, man.
And he had served as that team's captain, Chicago, of course, since prior to his second full season, right? He was in that leadership position.
I think he was 19 when they gave him the C.
Well, it is interesting because what Chicago did at that time, you had Taves and Kane, and they were the young guys, but, I mean, they built Chicago for that era of hockey, and I wonder if the Blues can do the same with how young they're going. Can they find those two pillars with some guys on the back end? Obviously, you had Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook. Those guys were there for a long time. And then you mix in, some other players as well, some high-end skilled players in the forward group and on the back end as well. Like, can the Blues do something similar?
Yeah, but the problem the Blues have right now in its current state, you don't have a Patrick Kane.
No.
You don't,
Could Jimmy Snuggerud, be 70% of that?
Maybe. But Patrick Kane, I mean, he is the highest scoring U.S.-born hockey player ever.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And when he was in Chicago, you couldn't get the puck off his stick.
Oh, it was one of my biggest frustrations watching the Blues take on the Blackhawks in the playoffs, where he would just wheel and deal around the offensive zone. And I'm like, can somebody put a body on this guy?
Now, trust me, they wanted to.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Patrick Kane, if you go back and watch some of it, the way he played, he was one of the best players I've ever seen in my career at creating his own time and space in traffic. And here's what I mean by that. He would approach the blue line against a defenseman, and he would have a quick move, and then he would slow up, and before you know it, he had 3-4 feet of room now instead of 1 foot. And he did it subtly so that the defending player didn't even realize it was happening. And then all of a sudden he can make a sauce pass through your legs or over your stick. I mean, Mario Lemieux was really good at that too. Now, Mario is also 6'5", I think, so creating his own time and space was a lot easier. But Patrick Kane, the way he changed speeds and found good ice to maneuver in was pretty impressive.
Who's the closest comp in today's game among modern stars? Maybe not even an obvious pick.
Kucherov.
To Kane in that regard. Okay.
Kucherov.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, yeah. You watch Kucherov. Watch a Tampa Bay Lightning game and tell me if you ever see him more than once skate at full speed. He doesn't. It looks like he's barely moving out there. On the power play, he barely moves his feet, but nobody can get the puck from him. It's like he's incredible.
Maybe we'll be talking about one of his former teammates next.
Who's that?
What's trending?
Oh. Sure. Yeah. Jesus, Bradford, you threw me for a loop.
Smooth.
That was a tease.
Bradford's trying to get me to be on clock here. Don't you try to do that. Just say it, damn it. All right, we're going to talk about lots of stuff and what's trending, according to Bradford, right here in the fast lane.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
U.S. strikes first. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. At Lumen Field in Seattle, Team USA currently underway in its World Cup match against Australia. Group D action with the U.S. trying to nab that win and move on to the round of 32. Through 30 minutes of action, currently 1-0 in favor of the Americans, an own goal resulting in the 1-0 goal at present. Tonight in Kansas City, the Cardinals and Royals get after it in game number 2 of their 4-game set. Last night, a 14-6 drubbing administered by Kansas City. Michael McGreevy takes the rubber for St. Louis tonight. First pitch at 7:15. This SportsCenter update has been brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide, wide world
kind of sports is going on here?
Here's what's trending.
Welcome back into the Fast Lane on a Friday on 101 ESPN. I'm Bradford Bruns, Jamie Rivers, and Andrew Marsh alongside today. Gentlemen, we do have action as just referenced on the pitch. It is the second game of the World Cup for Team USA, trying to get into the round of 32. A victory will accomplish as much. About 32 minutes into the action so far, the U.S. with a 1-0 edge, in doing so without its top attacker in that 27-year-old Pulisic. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been glued to this TV for days now, watching this stuff. I actually love the World Cup. I do. Team USA would be great to see them win this game and advance on. It's going to get real tough, even though there'll be a lot of teams left. There's a lot of really good teams to play. I don't know what it is about the World Cup. It just makes me smile. Makes me enjoy watching it. So many people are having such a good time.
Mm-hmm. I think because it's here in North America, there is, at least for me, I find it fun to see, and we've talked about it before over the last few weeks, all of the Europeans coming over here and sort of
getting freaked out by stuff.
They're trying out American stuff, and it's pretty cool to see. And there's obviously a ton of buzz because it is here in the States. They're playing right now in Seattle, which is cool. And I mean, listen, I know how the United States has fared over the last few World Cups, but what I watched last Friday, I mean, how can you not get excited about that?
Right?
How can you not be excited about that?
Jamie, you know what else was cool? Yesterday, 6-0 Canada, making an
that.
impression right off of the bat.
Red and white getting busy. Saw those highlights last night. I was like, and people in Toronto are going crazy, and they're lining the streets with Canadian flags.
Co-host of sorts.
Yeah, I do find that weird. I think we talked about it yesterday. I do find it weird that it's World Cup USA, but they're all over North America, basically. I mean, games in Mexico, games in Canada, games in Seattle, games in Boston. I don't know.
North America is the host, so all three countries are the host.
Yeah, but I remember, I don't know if it was the last one before, was in Rio or Brazil.
Yeah.
It was just there.
Right.
It was there. It wasn't all over, South America. It was just there.
Camaraderie, unity, North America.
Yeah.
The upcoming World Cups, there are a few coming up that will have multiple countries as the host. Now, I think there's one in Saudi Arabia. That will just be the one, but I can't remember which ones there's going to be multiple hosts. So it's not a.
I just find it weird.
Morocco, Portugal, Spain.
Well, but those are so
2030,
close together.
Argentina,
It's
Paraguay, Uruguay.
You might as well have 3 states. That's based on the size of those countries and the way they're located.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's just for me, guys. Okay, I think it's weird that you have one in Seattle and one in the Northeast, and then you've got Dallas. It's okay, what are we doing here? It's so spread out.
Different quadrants all over the place.
If you're a Team USA fan or you want to go support the United States, you live in, I don't know, Maine, somewhere.
Yeah.
They played in Seattle today.
Yeah, buy a plane ticket.
Yeah, I'm sure that's easy.
The get-in price today, just a shade over $1,900.
That's
Come
it?
on.
What?
Oh. That's not practical? No? Yeah,
That is crazy.
That's real. Yeah.
Why?
That's real.
That's just silliness.
I mean, and I understand, this doesn't happen every year. And it doesn't happen every year here in the States.
Imagine if you get to the knockout stage. Imagine if this team makes a run. We'll talk about it more post-match, but can you fathom how high that number could go? I'm just saying. Now, you mentioned Toronto, Jamie, and Toronto could be in a tizzy for more reasons than just the one. That's because, hey, this summer's NHL free agent class, guys, we all know it wasn't exactly considered to be top flight even before Friday morning, and now it's, a little less tantalizing. But that's because Darren Radish has been acquired by the Maple Leafs from Tampa Bay in a sign-and-trade deal. He had been viewed as, without question, the best offensive D-man available after breaking out for 70 points this past season. Jamie, how do you like that booming shot from the point as Toronto tries to turn over, I'm going there, a new leaf?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Really?
I don't.
He's 29 years old.
29 years
8
old.
years.
I know.
He would jump from 6 goals scored. You talked about the shot.
Yeah.
6 goals the year prior in his age 28 season to 22 on a good team.
That's fair. To what do you attribute that?
The players
Kucherov.
around him. Yeah. Like, what does that look like with Toronto?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's foolish. Like, John Chayka comes in there, and this is what you do? Like, I know you need a defenseman, but, like, Toronto needs a Colton Parayko. Like, they need a shut-down defensive guy. Like, I just don't get it. This guy's had one season of 70 points, one season of 22 goals, one season over 10 goals. That's it. Before that, I mean, he was in the NHL. He's been in and out of the NHL for years, but solidified himself in 23-24 with Tampa playing 82 games. Mm-hmm. At 30 or 29 years old,
Yeah.
an 8-year contract.
If he was 25, this would be a different story.
If he was Chris Pronger or Al McInnes, where you've seen that as they're, or Alex Pietrangelo, or like one of these guys that you know is a pillar back there. What if he goes back to 6 goals next year?
I don't disagree with you at all. But
It's crazy.
should we be surprised, given how Toronto has operated, especially in the last couple of seasons, doing everything against the grain?
But they're doing it's a whole new regime, so you can't attach that. That it's a whole new regime. Like, everybody's gone.
Which makes this even more puzzling because this is really your first move. This is what you opt to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I just don't understand it. I don't. If it was a 4-year deal, yeah, absolutely. 8? They're going to hate. They might hate this contract 2 years in.
8.5, by the way.
Yeah,
AAV.
they might hate it 2 years in, and then they'll be stuck with this contract.
It's an albatross.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it kind of reminds me of the San Francisco Giants, where you have like a new regime come in, and then you're bringing in like veteran guys essentially. Like, I know he's only been in the league for 5 years, but like he's almost 30. Age-wise, I would consider him to be a veteran.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have done this. But you know what? I'm not working for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have made some interesting moves this summer.
Yeah, I think the head coach hire is a weird one. It's almost like they're trying to do so many things that are like out of whack. Like they're smarter than everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. I just don't know.
So I'm curious. What is their direction? Are they blowing this up? Are they retooling?
Well, they're obviously in win now mode. You went and signed a 29-year-old defenseman to an 8-year deal. That's not a rebuild.
Right. But I feel like they need to.
What they should have done is trade Morgan Riley, trade some other pieces, go get a young defenseman somewhere, or go get Bo Byram from Buffalo. Try to see if you can get him he's got 1 year left on his deal. That's the kind of move you make, not this.
How can you possibly be in win now mode when, in my estimation, you have precious little depth outside of the top 6, and that's even pushing it, in my opinion.
Well, they're in a tough spot, right? Because you can't do a full teardown. I mean, you could, but when you have William Nylander and Austin Matthews on your roster, what are you going to tell them?
Bingo.
And you probably don't want to trade them. You would like to keep those guys. Now, will they want to stay? I don't know.
If I was Toronto, I would have traded both of those guys and got an absolute haul. Your rebuild would have been a year or two, maybe, and then all of your young players would be blossoming at the same time again. That Toronto team's not winning a championship. They will not win a Stanley Cup during Austin Matthews' tenure there, or they won't. They just won't. So
however long it is.
However long.
Well, this will probably be the worst version of the team with Austin Matthews on the squad.
So I just, again, it's like the Edmonton Oilers right now. I just don't know what direction they think they're going in. And Toronto, the huge market, and they seem like they're blindfolded throwing darts at a board.
Well, I think that's probably what you get when you have superstars on your roster and you have a fan base that is breathing down your neck, and you went through a stretch where you could have won the Stanley Cup. You're sort of right there, more so for the Oilers than the Leafs. They only won, one playoff series?
Yes.
But that team could have won more. if they could get through the Florida Panthers, who knows what happens? They probably still lose because that's just them. But that's what happens. You don't know which direction to go in because you have 2 all-world players on your team.
You did have 3.
You did have 3.
You did have 3. And he wanted out of there, and they did not do well this year. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch both Toronto and Edmonton. And I'm going to be glued to Darren Radish and his production over the next 2 or 3 years to see how that ends up landing.
Good luck to you, though. Somebody else, guys, who doesn't need a bunch of luck, or so it would seem right now. Quickly, we move on to the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark, the winner of that same championship in 2023. He is all the way down to 7 under par. So far, Shinnecock Hills hasn't really gobbled up everybody, but I don't think you're going to see a low number like 12 under a la the Masters. Guys, do you want to see in your major championships the winners go extremely low or really have to grind through it on one of these courses? And Shinnecock definitely falls into that category.
Yeah, I don't really care. As far as like the number, whether it's high or low, I just want it to be competitive. On Sunday, when you turn on the television, I want it to be compelling.
Yeah.
I don't want one guy to be 10 strokes ahead of somebody. I want the last pairing to be close or tied. To me, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same category. Typically, the way that I want Sunday to play out is I want that big name guy there. I also want somebody in there that is an underdog. I want sort of all the storylines come Sunday. And like Jamie said, you don't want the leader to be so far up unless you have him in like a pool or something.
Unless you've gone on to Circus Sports.
Exactly.
White logo, by the way, that's for State of Missouri, and you picked that golfer, of course.
But typically, we love drama in sports. So why wouldn't you want your major championships to come down to the last, I'd say, 2 holes?
Yeah. Well, interesting to see how that shapes out. That was what's trending. All right, we're going to do a little Blues cues. So if you have any questions about the Blues or any hockey-related questions, really, the draft is next Friday. So there's lots of things happening around the league and certainly a lot of questions surrounding your St. Louis Blues. Get those questions in to 314-399-9646. That is the Air Comfort Service text line. Blues Cues next on 101 ESPN.
Sunday, Phillies and Mets. Pregame at 5:30, first pitch at 6:20. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Now, it's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. It's time for Blues Cues. What you got for me, Bradford?
All right, Jamie, let's start it off with a submission from the Grant Francis fan club. I am a fan indeed of Tom Stillman. I think very, very highly of him, but in fairness, I think there's anything that he could do better in his role.
Do I think there's anything he could do better?
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's, not him alone, but the ownership group spends to the cap almost every year. They've never been afraid to be aggressive. As an organization, they give the full support to Army and now Steiner in his role. Not afraid to fire a coach and continue to pay that salary while hiring another coach. I really don't know if there's much the Blues could do differently, because I think they're doing things pretty well, man.
Yeah, I think when you look at some of the other ownership groups around the NHL, I mean, we talk about Edmonton all the time. An owner who wants his team to win, but questionable decision-making in terms of the people he has put in place to run said team.
Mm-hmm.
Stan Bowman.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's a weird hire, and things have gone downwards since he's been there. I think with Tom Stillman and what the Blues have in the ownership group, I mean, we have it pretty good here. They do a great job at keeping this team pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Even though last year they missed the playoffs. You know, the few seasons where the Blues missed the playoffs before the late run 2 seasons ago, like they were still somewhat in the mix. You know, obviously not a true playoff team, but people still went and showed up.
That's not on the owner.
No.
Like the owner, Tom Stillman, is the chairman. I shouldn't say he's the owner because there's a huge ownership group, but he's the chairman and majority owner. So we'll leave it at that. But he put the people in place that he thought were the right ones to do it. And the people who were in place, namely Doug Armstrong, is a guy that has put together winning teams for several years. So I don't know. I honestly don't know if there's anything different they could do. One thing that I think they should do away from the game of hockey is try to buy up some of those buildings that are right around Enterprise Center and kind of create their own little ballpark village area. I thought about that one building that's right across the street. I think it's the old courthouse maybe or something. I don't know if that or something. Anyways, it's right across Clark. And you could build an overpass, like a walkover, where people could be over there, walk over to Enterprise. And
the traffic right in that little spot is just awful trying to get to games.
It's not great. But that would be my only suggestion.
You're right, Marshy. That is far from ideal. South City Implant, he's a friend. He wants to know, can you tell us a realistic target for the Blues this offseason through free agency or maybe even a trade? A target.
I don't know if there's an unrestricted free agent that makes any sense that I would be wasting any money on at this point.
Well, why don't we talk about the guy that we talked about yesterday, and Elias Pettersson?
Yeah.
For you, how realistic is this?
Well, I think it's very realistic. Honestly. I mean, if you're going to get a guy to waive his no movement clause, what better way to tempt him than to send him to a Swedish general manager where you have relevant Swedish players on that team as well? It's not just a couple of throwaway Swedes. Like Stenberg's going to be here for a while. Broberg is going to be a staple here. Lindstein looks like he's going to be a long-term player here as well. So you've got lots of guys. I know we got Berggren as well. I don't know what his future is ultimately, whether it's a year or two or who knows. But a lot of familiarity with those players. So I think it's very real. I do. I think it's very realistic that the Blues could be pursuing Pettersson. Now, are they pursuing him at the $11.5 million cap hit? I don't know. I think that they would want to negotiate something where a good chunk of salary goes back to Vancouver as well. We talked about maybe a Jordan Kyrou. People are like, what about Pavel Buchnevich? I don't see that happening. Just because, Pavel Buchnevich just hasn't been the player that he needs to be. I know Pettersson hasn't either, but the ceiling is super high for Pettersson, whereas with Buch right now, every year he's played, it's gotten the point totals have gotten lower and lower.
Do you see any scenario in which Pavel Buchnevich is not on the Blues within the next 3 years?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, depending on what Alex Steen wants to do, look, first and foremost, you hope that Buch finds his game. You hope that he has a great offseason, comes back hungry.
Well, when he's on his game, he's a good hockey player. That's why they traded for him.
I agree. So that's the first thing you hope for. Now, if that doesn't happen, like Alex Steen is not Doug Armstrong. Do we know if Steener will use a buyout on a player? We don't know that yet. He hasn't had that choice to make. Is there a team that would trade for Buch if you ate half his contract? Like, there's lots of scenarios that could present themselves. I don't think it's any time in the near future, but like you said, 2 or 3 years from now, I could see him in a different uniform.
Hot Dog Roberts weighing in. How can the Blues come out of training camp playing productive hockey instead of leaving those valuable points on the table?
As far as like their overtime and all that stuff,
just coming out, let's say, in a more assertive way, aggressive to begin the season.
Yeah, well, you hope that. I mean, that's always the plan, right? You don't plan on starting terrible.
I mean, last year when I remember specifically, we were at the brewery doing our show leading up to the season, and we talked with JR, different JR, not Jamie Rivers, but Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic, and he was saying, specifically talking about like Dylan Holloway and some of the players, how ready they were to get back on the ice and continue what they did at the end of the season. And they looked like they were, the way that they were skating, all this other stuff, it looked like they were like 30 games into the season. And then the regular season happened.
Yeah.
So whatever they say out of training camp, I'm going to take with a grain of salt until I actually see it happen. And I'm not blaming JR by any means for that.
No,
but
I get it. It is what it is. You don't know till you know sometimes. And I do think that this year at training camp, I do think Jim Montgomery, his new coaching staff, the management and the players, the leadership group, they're all anticipating a different style of training camp. I think it's going to be a much more competitive training camp on several different fronts.
Is there anything, now that we have new assistant coaches, is there anything stylistically that they could do at the beginning of the season to help them sort of get over that hump?
Well, they need to start the season like they finished defensively last year. They were taking away the middle of the ice very well. They denied a lot of high percentage scoring chances. So, yeah, for me, I'd be thinking defensively, let's be airtight. The offense will happen. You'll find but being sound defensively early can win you hockey games.
Artificial unintelligence has a proposition for us. What if the Canucks asked for Stenberg and number 29 overall? Then they could draft the Stenberg brothers. Then Kyrou could be moved in a separate deal. A lot of different layers there.
They think Ivar Stenberg's going to be there at number 29?
Seems unlikely, but let's roll with it.
No, at 3.
Well, how did the Vancouver? Oh, Vancouver has that number 3.
Vancouver has the third pick overall.
Yes,
gotcha.
And they would get number 29 along with Stenberg.
Okay,
but that's banking on San Jose going with a defenseman or trading. If they trade, though, more than likely that team that trades with them will take Stenberg. So Vancouver, maybe they try and trade up.
I would be picking up the phone and calling San Jose and saying, let's just swap picks.
Maybe they swap picks. They take number 29 from the Blues.
Or maybe they know that San Jose is going to take a defenseman already. Maybe they've called them and said, no, we're going to use this pick.
They could?
Yeah.
So let's say that happens. What do you think about this situation?
I mean, I would make the trade. If you're essentially giving up Otto Stenberg and a 29th overall pick.
For the new Sedin brothers in Vancouver. That's how I would pose it.
Ivar hasn't played a game in the NHL yet, so let's just...
That's true.
Let's just see.
I like that, though. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can look at what they're going to become. I think you have to look at what you are. And if you're focused on blocking another team on basically projecting what they could be because you don't want them to, and you're not worried about your team, you're not doing your job correctly. So sometimes you inadvertently help other teams to make your team better. And I think if it only cost you Otto Stenberg and the 29th overall, I think I'd make that deal.
That's sort of my philosophy in fantasy football. Like, if there's a player available on the waiver wire, I will pick him up, even though I don't really need him.
Just to block somebody
Just
else?
to block somebody else from getting him. It's kind of a scumbag move, but it is what it is.
Speaking of which, are you guys ready to go or what? I cannot wait, seriously.
For football?
My goodness. To know
I'm
the
so
fantasy
excited.
variety, too.
Now that
gosh.
the NHL is all done and the Cardinals, we only have one sport now. Of
Heck
course, we have
yeah.
the World Cup going on
Yeah.
right now, which is exciting. The Cardinals are playing good baseball. But, man, I'm ready for football.
I got sidetracked. We do have one more quickly here from the 314. Why is everybody against the idea of reaching out to number 91 one more time?
91. Steven Stamkos?
Yeah.
Let's take them.
You know who it is. You know
Vladdy?
who it is. Yep.
No thanks.
You don't need another winger.
And we don't need an old guy like that.
Nostalgia's everything.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just like your shirt. Nostalgic.
It's also very meta.
It is very
meta.
Marshy complimented me.
Yes.
All right, we've got Big City. He is here in the building. Just got a text message. Going to go let him in at the front door, and he will join us next right here on 101 ESPN.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
We want to hear from you. Use the Scott Lee Mic Drop feature on the 101 mobile app. Give us your opinion on anything St. Louis sports with a mic drop.
Brought to you by the Scott Lee Heating Company.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Two former pros and one average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. A special guest in the house. Man, what a day this is. big city, Matt Adams. Buddy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Jamie.
Oh, God, yeah.
How about you?
I'm great, man. It's Friday. What could be better than that?
I know, right?
Beautiful sunshine outside.
Other than sitting by your pool.
Yeah.
Enjoying a cold one.
Big city.
That is a nice time. I've done it a few times myself. And the trees are gone,
The trees are gone. We cleaned it all up there.
It looks great.
Thanks, buddy.
It looks great.
Yeah, Matt
River's
came by.
Edge?
The
Is that
River's
right?
Edge, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
He came by for the little, we'll call it the
Little
Mexican
get-together.
fiesta. He was not present for the monkeys being there.
No, saw him though. Was fortunate enough to see your summer outfit in full force. So yeah, we had a blast.
He was privileged to see me in a Speedo. Yeah. We're getting one made for him for next time.
Oh, I don't know if everybody wants to see that.
Right on the front, we're going to put big city.
I love it.
Oh, man. All right, buddy. So talk a little Redbirds with you here for a second.
Perfect.
A tough situation. Not a fun thing to talk about, but Nolan Gorman heads down to Memphis. It sounds like they're having him kind of refocus or straighten out his head right now. He hasn't played a game yet down in Memphis. And when I knew you were coming on, I was like, let's talk to Matt, because big guy, left-handed bat, pop. Like, there's a lot of similarities between what you brought to the table and what he currently is supposed to be bringing to the table. Like, what are you seeing in his game? Is it something that you look and go, I see where he's kind of fallen apart here a little bit?
First and foremost, I think he's just kind of lost some confidence. I look at him, and to me, it's between the ears is where he's struggling with. The talent's there. He's got a great swing. I think he's just pressing way too hard. I think he's trying to do too much in one single at bat. It looks like he's trying to hit 5 home runs or get 5 hits in one at bat, and he's pressing. So I like, obviously for him, I don't like the, obviously going down, getting sent down AAA can't be good for his confidence, but it's also got to be a little bit reassuring for himself to go down there, no pressure, to be able to just go play game. Play his game, get back into the groove of things, and kind of hit that reset button. And then, the team still believes in him. They still want him to be part of the club, and do your thing for whatever it is, 2-3 weeks, and then come back up here and help the Redbirds win games.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because at this point, he thought he was a major leaguer. At this point, he's settled in. I'm a St. Louis Cardinal. I'm not a Memphis Redbird anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not a tweener. I'm a St. Louis Cardinal. And, I went through it, too. I was in the NHL for like 5 years. And then when I played in Florida, I went down for conditioning a couple of times down to the minors. And you're like, oh, man, like you kind of feel crappy. So, like, how will that weigh on him? Because you're talking about, like, it's between his ears. Okay, that's the baseball side. But life,
right
now knowing he's back down in Memphis, you're kind of embarrassed. Your ego's taking a punch to the gut. Like that's also a whole big part of it now.
Yeah, I mean, that's there's no line in that. He's going to have to figure that out real quick. That he's not in the big leagues anymore. He is part of the Memphis Redbirds, but in the back of your mind, he still has to believe that he is a big leaguer. That's where that regaining that confidence. If you go in and you kind of sulk in the demotion and buying into the fact that I'm down here in AAA, the game can spiral real fast for him. So, go in, get your work in, bust your butt, do whatever you need to do what the team's asking you to do, but believe that sooner than later you're going to be back up in here in St. Louis helping this team win games.
You mentioned that it seems like he's trying to hit like 5 home runs every single game. When at least a fan base assumes like, okay, this guy is just here for power, can that also affect a player who is standing there at the plate thinking, man, I'm here to hit home runs like that? I'm not a singles guy, but I feel like it starts with when you're in a slump, man, just put bat on ball and just find a way to get on base. Those home runs will come.
100%. My opinion, I was never a guy that I would walk up trying to hit a home run, because if I did that, my swing got real long, got too big, and I was, more times than not swinging and missing and not doing my job. So I think for him, stepping up to the plate, wanting to hit a home run, you can have that kind of like mindset mentality, but like you gotta think gap to gap. Drive the ball to the gaps, think doubles, because we all know that he's not the fastest guy. So he's not.
He ain't
he's
built
not
for speed, Matt.
Right. He's not going to hit singles and then steal second base and get into scoring position. He's a power hitter. So think gap to gap, drive the ball. He's shown us, in glimpses that he can drive the ball to all parts of the field. So if he gets back into, reamping his approach and thinking more line drive, gap to gap approach instead of, I got to hit home runs, I think that's gonna help him out big time.
Do pitchers see that too? Because I'm watching, as a player, I knew tendencies of some of the guys I played against, and if they had a certain move or they did, I kind of knew it. You pick up on it and be able to expose them or end the play. Pitchers see that. If you talked about, if you were swinging for a home run, your swing would get longer and you'd be out of whack a little bit. They throw a pitch and they see you take a swing. Do they automatically go,
yeah,
big boy's hungry today?
That light bulb goes off for them for sure. And listen, the book's out on him. He's shown over his last 50 at bats at the big league level, he had 27 or 28 strikeouts. So he was striking out at a big clip. So he was chasing balls out of the strike zone. So that video that those pitchers are doing, the night before they're going to face him, they're seeing that, hey, we may not have to throw this guy a strike.
Yeah,
let's make it look like a strike out of hand, especially left-handers. Left-handers were throwing them that down and away sweeper, slider thing.
Well, it got so bad, Ollie wasn't even playing him at all against lefties.
Right. And then, when he did get a chance to play against right-handers, he was trying way too hard. So I just think his chase rate was through the roof. He was I think that all comes back to him just trying to putting a lot of pressure on himself because he's a good kid. He's got a good heart. He wants to help the team win, and I think he was just putting way too much pressure on himself.
So, I look at this and 4 or 5 years now of kind of the same thing. Actually, if you go back, 3 years, I believe. My math could be wrong. It happens. Hitting the head a lot. But if you go back to what his most productive season was as far as home runs, it's just the evolution has gotten a little bit worse as we go here. I'm not giving up on him because he's got too much talent to give up. But you look at some people here in Cardinal Nation are man, he's had his chance.
Yeah, I think that.
Is it fixable?
That's
and even if it's
valid
fixable,
point.
is that a mirage again? If he starts pounding the ball in Memphis and you call him back up and he has a couple of tough games, so was that a mirage? He's not really fixed anything. He's just figured out AAA pitching.
Well, yeah, I mean listen, even though AAA is the highest level in the minor leagues, it's still a tremendous jump.
It's a long
from
way from the show
to the major leagues.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to show that he can do it at the AAA level, but he knows that once he gets that call back up, that he's going to have to show that he's made some adjustments. He's made his, reamped his approach, his mindset and whatnot. And if he's not showing that, then, I think guys can, change of scenery is good for guys. Mm-hmm. So maybe it might be that time to where, at the deadline, maybe, if the Cardinals aren't getting what Nolan Gorman brings to the table and should be bringing to the table, maybe it's time to give him a change of scenery and get somebody else in return.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody would take a flyer on him. He's still a young man.
Yeah, he's got good talent. There's glimpses of it in there. It's just it's figuring out how to do it at a consistent level.
Does some guys ever just not figure it out? I know that there's guys that don't, but the talent level is there for him, and he's shown that he's got the big league power. But how often is that where guys just they start to not figure it out and then they just never get back there?
Yeah, I think it all
gotta be a lot, right?
It all comes here.
Yeah,
because when you're at the major league level, everybody's got the talent. I think what separates the good guys from the greats and then the greats from the Hall of Famers is all between the years. It's all mindset. It's all preparation, the way you go about your business, work ethic. So I think that all plays into account.
I would have to assume, having a guy like Blaze Jordan who steps right in and starts just mashing the ball, that can't help your mindset when you get sent down, can it? Or does it make you more driven?
Well, yeah, I mean, to Rivs' point, you gotta be able to just shut that stuff out because of obviously at the AAA level they're having the big league games on. He's knowing what Blaze is doing. But if you buy into that, your head's not where it needs to be, and you're kind of defeated before you even kind of step foot on the field. So you got to just kind of eliminate all the external noise and just go play your game. Go show everybody, hey, I can do this, I can fix this, and go from there.
You mentioned going gap to gap a few minutes ago, and that's exactly what Blaze Jordan has demonstrated at any number of levels so far. He's been up here now, Matt, for a week. He's hitting 308, and I feel as if really you haven't had any questions about the bat. It was rather a question of, okay, can you get by with him for a while temporarily at third base? Is it almost a situation in which if you know you have one really good tool, and obviously that's hitting, that's the hit tool for Blaze Jordan, and it becomes a fight or flight sort of thing when you get that initial call to the bigs? Sometimes ignorance actually is bliss. You're just going out there and you're focusing. You're kind of free in a sense, and you're able to remove that noise from the outside.
Yeah, I think, he knows, obviously, he's got a routine, and he knows that hitting is his number one tool. But I was fortunate enough to, I spent time with Blaze on the Cardinal Caravan this past winter at Cards Fest, and he talked that he spent all offseason, and his goal going into spring training was his defense. So he made it a point to work at defense, whether it was at third base. He got a couple games at first base now. Like he's showing that he's being a little bit more versatile than he has in the past. And when you're hitting like he is, both righties and lefties, you got to work at the defense. So I think he's in a good spot routine wise with the hitting and the offensive stuff, where now like the focus becomes, what can I do on a daily basis to up my game defensively to make sure that my bat stays in that lineup.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see the progress of Blaze Jordan. He's playing very well right now for the Cardinals. And, again, we hope that Nolan Gorman finds his swing again and gets another chance with the big club here, because when the big boys bop, and he can bop, and the Cardinals certainly love that about him. All right, we've got the Sports Six-Pack, Part 1, coming up next. Air Comfort Service text lines 314-399-9646. Any questions you've got for me, Marshy, Bradford, or Matt here, they don't have to be baseball or hockey related. You could ask Matt about his favorite grilling. I don't know, something. Anybody. We take all questions here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's BK, and you can join me on Thursday night with Michelob Ultra at Cyberg's off of Dorset. It's the U.S. men's soccer team. They're taking on Turkey, and me, the 101 ESPN crew, and Michelob Ultra will be on site with both 101 ESPN and Ultra giveaways. Those start at 7 o'clock, leading up to kickoff between the U.S. men's national team and Turkey, which starts at 9. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer and the official beer sponsor for the FIFA World Cup 2026. So be sure to enjoy an Ultra as you cheer on your favorite team during the World Cup. That's this Thursday, starting at 7 with me, BK, and Michelob Ultra at Cyberg's at 2430 Old Dorset Road, leading up to the U.S. versus Turkey, which starts at 9. Come out, say hello, check us out at Cyberg's off of Dorset. All the details can be found at 101ESPN.com. Excited to see you guys at Cyberg's, BK and Michelob Ultra for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup.
Buckle up. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut's Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Bradford Bruns, and Big City Matt Adams joining us here until the 4 o'clock hour. It's time for part one of the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
Well, this seems pretty relevant. From the 636 guys, yesterday, Joshua Baez smashed his 5th home run in the last 5 games. Yeah, pretty good, Jamie. Pretty solid for those Memphis Redbirds. At what point do the Cardinals have no choice but to bring him up?
Oh, Matt, this one's all you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I think the 4-homer game, I think it showed that no matter what you throw this kid right now, there's a 95% chance that ball is leaving the yard. So I would say if he does this for another month with the trade deadline coming up, if he's consistent for another month, I think there's no chance but to give this kid a shot. I mean, he's hitting 290. He's leading. I think he's leading AAA in home runs. He's got to be close to RBIs. He's doing damage. And the Cardinals could definitely use a power bat like that in their lineup.
Yeah, he's got some strikeout issues, though, too, which I guess here I have some strikeout issues. I mean, all power hitters are going to face that at some point because they're hungry up there. I think it's going to take a trade or, knock on wood, an injury, because right now your outfield for the Cardinals, you're not touching Jordan Walker. Newt's playing real well for you, and he's proven that he can play.
Church is playing a hell of a center field, so there's not an everyday position for him right now, unless it's the DH role. But Herrera's been doing a great job.
You're not taking Herrera out either.
No, I like, and when you got a young guy like that who's crushing it in AAA, I feel like the Cardinals, especially their front office, they want to see if this guy can do it over the course of a full season instead of bringing him up here in a part-time role where there's not every day at bats. You're going to hamper his growth. Let him stay down there. Let him continue crushing pitching. The confidence will be through the roof. And then if there's an opportunity for every day at bats up here, he's going to be the first guy to get called.
How's his defense?
I think it's
Is it like average?
It's
average, just
I
slightly
think it's
above?
average. A tick above average. I think
because right now your defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah, you can't touch that. At this level, you can't mess with defense in the outfield because
we saw it last night. Right, with Nelson Velasquez in left field.
That was a tough look on big boy there.
For me in center field. Not saying that those guys, if you brought Nathan Church in, a lot of gappers last night, unfortunately. Not saying he'd get to all those balls or whatnot, but
but when you have Newton left and Church in center and Walker's a lot faster than what people think he is. Like the dude flies.
He closes.
He closes the gap fast.
But he's got a hell of an arm too.
And he's got a cannon. But when you have Church, Roman, I mean, it was great whenever Vic was up here too, because when it didn't matter if Vic was in center or Church was in center. Those guys are going to help close those gaps down fast. And Newt's quick. Newt's got a strong arm. So I think that's your 3 outfielders right there. You got to run Newt out there. You got to keep Church in center and obviously Jaywalk and Wright doing his thing the way he's playing this year. So that's a pretty solid outfield right there.
Yeah. That's fun. It's nice to have that outfield and then know you've got depth in Memphis just nipping at your heels if there's a need for him at any point.
Well, and too, I think it helps the pitching staff out too, knowing that if a ball goes up in the air, even if it's a gapper, when you got those 3 guys out there that has the closing speed of those 3.
Yeah.
There's confidence in the pitching staff as well. The ball goes up, you're like, oh, there's a good shot. That's an out.
I would have to assume, let's say they don't call him up at the trade deadline, after the trade deadline. But if this team is in a playoff spot, how could you not call him up for September if they are going on a run towards October?
I think you probably would.
You would have to. Yeah. I mean, and listen, if the Birds keep playing baseball the way that they're playing, they're holding the number 1 wild card spot right now. I know it's still early on in the season. We haven't hit halfway yet, but if they keep playing this kind of baseball, that guy's bat is going to play, in a playoff push.
Yeah, I agree.
Question number 2.
The 636 would like to know, guys, tell us your favorite Father's Day gifts of all time.
Oh, wow. I have to think. My kids aren't very good at this. I shouldn't say that. I think it was 2 years ago or last year. they chipped in all together and bought me a cold plunge tub.
Okay.
So although it's not like luxurious, it still was pretty cool.
You didn't have to throw that part in.
What?
Oh, it's not luxurious.
No, but I mean, it's not like something like, like some people are like, I'd get that back, because they don't want to do the cold plunge or they don't like it. Well, I do. And so for me, that was a great gift.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I got stepkids. I would say like not really getting gifts from them, but my favorite thing that I bought my dad a grill. He's a big grill master, loves a grill. So I got him a real nice Weber grill one off season where I was still living back home, and I knew that I was going to be away for the season, and just got it for him early, and said, hey, this is Father's Day gift that year, and. Yeah, I'm more of a gift giver than gift receiving.
There you go.
Likewise.
Let's modify it. The favorite gift you've given Dad.
Well, I'm not a father, so I'll go with obviously what I have given my dad. I think it was 2019. My brother and I, we pitched in to get him to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh.
Now, the Blues got absolutely smoked in that game, but it was a really cool experience for him. And I was working with the team, so I was able to go hang out with him for a little bit, and he was having a good time. Something that obviously hasn't happened in a while, so it was a really cool gift for him.
Yeah. I think I did the same for my dad at one point. Not the Stanley Cup tickets, but the grill. And it was a grill where I forget how old I was. I was still playing junior hockey, I think, and it's one of those grills where you had to put it together. Back when they did that to you, just sat there in the driveway trying to put this stupid grill together for hours. But he loved it, and he used it for years, so I guess it was okay.
For me, it was a belated Father's Day gift, but man, what an unbelievably special experience. It was August, actually, of 2016 at Busch Stadium. Dad is an absolute Beatles and Paul McCartney junkie.
Nice.
So do you remember the concert there at Busch Stadium, the one-on-one tour, I believe? That was amazing. The endurance, honestly, that he had even then, played for almost 3 hours.
Dang.
It was
3
remarkable.
hours?
I'm serious. I kid you not. It was
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
3
awesome.
hours?
Yep.
My God. No thanks.
No breaks.
Yes.
No intermissions.
Me, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
No thanks to him
That's
playing for 3
crazy.
hours.
Kids can't hang. The kids can't hang these days.
Oh, man.
3 hours? I went to an Eric
Give me my
Church
money. I'll
concert
pay for an hour.
in
Right?
college that was 3 hours long, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this thing ever going to end?
U2 was pretty close, around the same time at Busch.
I really like Eric Church's music, but I was like, oh my, it was just, you're there for so long. I can't imagine all of the Swifties and the Eras tour. That is so long. You're there all day.
For those Swifties,
They probably love it, though.
For them, it's banger after banger after banger.
It is, yeah.
And Matt and I were at Kid Rock together.
What a
and
concert that was.
It was awesome, but almost every song is part of his hit list, right? So it's not like you get 25 minutes of some new songs he's introducing to his fans. They just keep smashing it out of the park with all the best ones. So it was a long concert, but it didn't feel that way.
But I couldn't imagine the weather was perfect, and we were outside. But I could not imagine August outside of Busch Stadium playing for 3 hours.
Oh gosh, no thanks.
What, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear
thanks.
what
Icon.
BK and Ferrario and Tanner were talking about this earlier. I think it was during the junk drawer where there are people that go to festivals and they'll wear diapers if they're in the front row at a festival.
Sorry, what?
Yes, they wear diapers.
So they don't lose their spot?
So they don't lose their spot.
They call that commitment, Matt.
And it just smells up there.
Why would you
can't
want
imagine why.
Right.
I would never do that. Would you ever do that?
So I've told this story. No,
no.
I would never do that. But I've told this story before. When I played in the minors in Worcester, Massachusetts, there was a place called The Dive. That was the bar. The Dive is what it was called.
Was it a dive bar?
I've been there, by the way.
The Dive?
They got a AAA team there.
Yeah.
And we went to
Worcester.
the Dive.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go.
I've been there.
So they had a happy hour-ish, I forget what night of the week it was, but it wasn't happy hour. It was at 9 o'clock at night or something. They tried to get the college kids in there earlier, so they had what they called a bladder buster. So it's a bladder buster. All the pitchers are free to the bar until one person goes to the bathroom.
Oh, I think I've heard you tell this story.
Yeah. And so you'd have people like wanting to go, and people would block the door. No, you can't go. You can't go. And so you have people with diapers on.
That's wow. That is commitment.
Has to be completely unhealthy for all those kids. But they were. It was.
What an atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first I was like, I was almost afraid to drink. I'm like, what if I got to pee? Like, these people are going to maul me.
I'm definitely not going to be the first one that tries to go to the bathroom.
Can you, like, go outside and just go pee in an alley?
I don't know. I didn't get the bylaws, you know? Not sure what the fine print was. All right, Brad, we got time for one more? Sure we do.
Question number 3.
Let's do it. Matt, the 636 would like to know, what do you think about some of the changes to the new home run derby format? How exhausting was that old clock?
Oh.
So fill me in here, because I saw somebody write something, but I haven't read up on
there's no clock anymore.
Okay.
Correct.
The first round's like 25 swings.
20 swings in round 1, 15 in the second, and then the final also consisting of 15.
But you get more swings
on the last
if you keep hitting home runs.
Yeah, on the last swing, if you hit a homer, you can continue to go until you don't hit a homer.
Okay, I like that.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I like the new format because you could see the last couple of years the guys that were in the derby, they were dead by like after a minute of
it was
swinging.
more of an endurance test.
100%.
Yeah.
What like when you're in a home run derby, you and you connect on one, you want to like watch to see where it goes. Where now like the clock is out of it, so you have it's a number of swings. You can admire how far you hit a ball. Like I think the derby's going to be back to being a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it is fun to watch, but you're right. Like you're watching some of these guys and they're crushing the ball, and all of a sudden they're rolling over on it, and you can see that's because they're tired.
Yeah,
they're trying to swing hard, but their form is completely out of whack.
They would get one timeout, and they'd take the timeout, and there'd still be some guys were taking timeout with a minute left, and they're gassed, dripping sweat. They need about 4 Gatorades to get them back recovered.
Or if you're Pete Alonso, just go hammer out some squats in your cleats.
Yeah. That guy's,
that?
he's a different cat. Cat.
I know a lot of people in St. Louis would probably fear this. But, Matt, let's say that Jordan Walker makes the National League All-Star team. Let's say that Jordan Walker is invited and he accepts the opportunity. Would you want to see that potentially?
In the home run derby?
In the home run derby.
Yeah, why not?
At the risk of maybe a slight mechanical issue to iron out afterward.
Bradford, like I said, look what it did for Albert. Okay?
Yeah.
People think negatively. Why don't we try positive for a change, Bradford? Yeah. My gosh.
I was a couple of weeks ago.
I'm so glad that Bradford's getting it today and not me. There must be something about sitting in that chair, because usually it's me.
It's something.
I would I hope he does it. Obviously, he's having the season to get accepted to being an all-star. I would love to see him do it. I think it's not many people do get the opportunity to compete in a home run derby. I think he's shown us so far this season that he's able to make adjustments and get him back. So if he has an off game or an off at bat, he's able to make that quick adjustment and get right back to it. So by all means, I think he should do it. I would love to see him do it.
They can have some fun.
Exactly. And I think it's still does the winner still get $1 million?
It's a good chunk of change.
That's it.
Yeah, right. But if you're sign me up to go compete and hit some homers for $1 million.
And the ride, right?
I don't dispute that at all.
Yeah.
All right, that's your first part of the Sports Six Pack. Do we have a lineup yet?
We do not.
We don't.
At last check.
So part 2 of the Six Pack coming up next. Remember, it's 314-399-9646. More to come here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Well, the World Cup is going. Lots of games that are being played every single day, and you can get in on the action with my friends over at Circus Sports. Yep, they are the best in the business. They have the best odds of any app that's out there. You don't believe me? I don't blame you, but you can certainly go check it out. Download other apps and compare the odds. Right now, Circus Sports is celebrating America turning 250. So for Missouri users, first of all, download the app. Punch in Circus Sports and find that white logo, click on that, sign up, and then put in $250. Once you put in $250, it activates the America's birthday code for you, and then you play through that $250, and Circus Sports is going to put another $250 right back into your account so you can keep playing, you can keep having fun, you can keep winning. They like to celebrate their winners over at Circus Sports. They've got great money line splits, player props, and always got pretty fun parlays available for you. So get there, download the app. For more information, visit circusports.com. Again, that's circusports.com. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The NBA Draft is on ESPN. Tuesday night. Coverage begins at 6:30. Your home for the NBA is 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN. Sports Center.
Redbirds Royals round 2 unfolds tonight. Good afternoon. It's Bradford Bruns with this Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Tonight at 7:15 at Kauffman Stadium, the Redbirds continue their 4-game series against Kansas City. The Royals annihilated STL last night 14-6. Matthew Liberatore unable to get through 2 innings altogether. Tonight's Michael McGreevy versus Seth Lugo. Lugo coming off the IL. Right now in Seattle, the United States leading by the score of 2-0 over Australia 68 minutes into that Group D matchup. With a win, America can automatically advance to the round of 32. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut's Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
We're back here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Matt Adams with us for another 30 minutes or so. Andrew Marsh, Bradford Bruns, and Jamie Rivers here. Let's get to the six-pack.
Question number 4.
Matt, this one comes in from Tim's Offshore Bookie. If I recall correctly, yeah, just soak it in. Soak it in. There you go. If I recall correctly, you were one of the first to replace Albert at first base following his departure. What is it like to be in an organization and trying somehow to fill footsteps like that?
Oh, man, no pressure at all, Matt. Huh? That was easy.
I know that I had Berkman in front of me, and I had Alan Craig. Berkman and Craig were the two that really succeeded Albert doing that. So I got called up when Berkman went down with a knee injury, and I knew that I wasn't going to try to be Pujols or be Lance Berkman. I knew that they wanted me because they sat me down, they talked to me, and they just wanted me to keep doing what I was doing in AAA. Be Matt Adams. Be the Matt Adams that we saw in AA in Springfield and in Memphis. That's what we need from you right now. Give us some good at-bats, and we'll go from there. So I felt like by them sitting me down, having that conversation with me, it kind of alleviated some of the pressure. Mm-hmm. But also when you put the same jersey on that Albert wore for so many years, there is a pressure that goes in it that, playing first base and, being a power hitter that, but I knew that I was not going to come even close to putting numbers up from that guy.
One of the greatest players ever in baseball.
So the biggest thing for me was, I go back to the mindset of just, not trying to put too much pressure on myself and just go out there and play the game that got me to the big leagues and try to do that consistently.
That's so tough, though.
Yeah.
That's so tough. A couple of things you're trying to wrap your brain around: being in the majors, then playing for a historical organization like the Cardinals, and then on top of that, behind Lance Berkman, who's hurt, and then, of course, the giant himself, Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
So that'd be tough, man.
It was hard, but I, the veteran leadership that I had whenever I walked into that clubhouse from Yachty, from Skip Schumacher, from Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, those guys just, I leaned on them. They've been doing it for so long that if I had questions, those were the guys that I was going to. And that really helped me out big time. Was like they taught me how to prepare. Two guys that really taught me how to be a true pro are on the Cardinals staff, John Jay and Daniel Descalzo. So I give a lot of credit to those guys for taking me under their wing and just really showing me what it meant to be a true professional both on and off the field.
That's awesome. Obviously, you're not going to replace Albert by any means, but those years following his move to the Angels, I mean, you guys had really good teams from 2012 to 2015, going to the playoffs 4 straight seasons, a couple NL pennant chances. Yeah. Obviously, you guys went to the World Series. Those were fun baseball teams to watch, even without Albert on the team.
I mean, 90 plus wins.
Yeah.
We were playing great baseball. And I think that goes to show everybody that not one guy makes up, a good team. It's more than just one guy. Obviously, Albert's Albert, and he brought a lot to the table. But in those teams that came after Albert, we had a collective core that knew how to get us going on a nightly basis, to where we stepped foot out onto that field and we knew that we were going to kick some butt night in and night out, and more times than not, we did it for those 4 or 5 years.
And Lance Berkman himself, unfortunately, only spent a year and change in St. Louis. But when you really look at the numbers and you think back to how prolific of a hitter he was, Matt, between Houston, St. Louis, and then at the tail end there, 366 homers, a hard 300-plus year in and year out. What made him such a pure premier threat? What was really something that stood out to you in the brief time together, and just watching him kind of from afar, too? Because everything he did, it seemed to be so easy, but it had to have been just the opposite with the preparation.
Yeah. That's exactly it. The way that he prepared on a daily basis, he was so dialed in and locked into how, he did his homework on, the pitchers that he was facing night in and night out, to where he was, it almost seemed like he was 2 to 3 steps ahead of those guys before he even stepped foot and saw one pitch from them, where he did his homework. He knew how they were going to attack him, because he was in the league for so long. But it just goes back to how consistent he was, both from left-handed and right-handed. He's one of the best switch-hitting guys to ever put a uniform on and play the game of baseball. So, He was just a tough out. He never gave at bats away. I would say that was probably the biggest thing watching, him up close and personal, was he was so locked in every pitch of every at-bat, to where he never gave the opponents an inch. He was always dialed in, locked in, and he knew. He had a confidence about him where he knew that he was better than that guy standing out on the mound.
That's awesome.
Question number 5.
A couple good switch hitters on that team.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Beltran was another one.
Oh, unbelievable.
Stud.
I was really excited when the Cardinals brought him in, just because, one, he had been a Cardinal killer for years, outside of Adam Wainwright, of course, striking him out in 2006 NLCS. But that was a great pickup.
Nice little drop.
That was a great pickup.
Yeah, that was a huge pick. And then Fowler, Fowler was another good switch hitter. Would run. He closed the gap down in center field too. It was cool to be able to play, share the field and, share that clubhouse with those kind of guys.
That's awesome.
Totally different direction here from the 636. What is the best and or funniest excuse you've heard to get out of something?
Oh, wow. To get, I get so many of these, all my employees and stuff. Like, there's some days where it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here?
I think the tried and true answer is I've been on the toilet for a majority of the morning. I can't go.
Always works.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, oh, hey, you deal with that.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Go straight to diarrhea because
no one wants to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's uncomfortable. For
I've
people
used
to hear
that one
about.
before.
Like if you use throw up, people are fine. They're like, okay, throw up's good. But you talk about like you've got the squirts going. People are like, ooh.
Oh yeah. Stay away
home.
from it. Yeah, yep.
Not me. I say slap a diaper on. See it work.
Just wash your hands.
And this is a little bit more like on a personal note, but like I've heard people like blaming it on their pets. Oh, my pet ran away.
Oh yeah.
Lost my pet. I'm in shambles.
I can see that.
But definitely stick with the diarrhea part.
Diarrhea is uncomfortable.
It
for
works.
both parties.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about the diarrhea is that even though you're having it at that moment of your excuse, it goes beyond, that particular moment because it could happen later in the day and then you have to leave.
Well, especially if you say I've been having it frequently, then they're like, oh, yeah, this person's going to be running down the hallway. I don't need this at the office or whatever.
Just stay home.
In the studio.
Works 100 times out of 100 times.
I don't know if I've ever used any like funny excuses though to get out of something because when I think of funny, I think of unrealistic.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big believer in if you have an excuse or you're dropping, just make it real simple. Just real simple. Because if you start to get like, send a 14-sentence text message to people.
It's fake.
You're right away.
People are going to read right into it. They're going to know that it's...
Because if you're really sick or if you're not feeling... Like, the last thing you want to do is be really overemphasizing. I want to be like, dude, I'm sick.
Right.
Boom.
If you're sick, you do not want to send a 15-sentence text message to your boss or whatever. You're exactly what you're saying. You're saying, I'm saying 2 words. I'm sick.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever just been straight up, I don't want to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't want to hang out with you?
I wasn't too long, I think a couple of years ago. Not hang out, but I was tired. And I called Stalter. I'm like, dude, I am not coming in today. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, I'm perfectly fine. But I'm sick.
I need a maintenance day.
I need a day. And he's like, all right.
I need a day off my feet.
But I think and I don't know because I haven't been in it that recent. But like if you do that and you're just honest with people, they respect it even more than if you try to feed them some BS.
Man. And like there'll be a day where he feels that way, or and I'm okay, good.
Yeah,
I got you. You're sick. 100%. I got it.
Right.
All right, Brad, we got one more.
Question number 6.
Last but not least, we have a new friend on the text line. His name is Dick Fitzwell.
Yes.
And Matt, he would like to know
friend of the show.
from you. Yes.
Nice.
Without question. How much other baseball...
Unfortunately, he got injured this year.
Oh, what could have been, right?
Right.
How much other baseball did you find yourself watching while you were actively playing around the bigs?
Yeah, I watch a lot. When I get back to, whether I was on the road in the hotel rooms, because most hotel rooms had MLB Network, or I get back to my apartment after a home game, that's what was on my TV until I, was shutting the TV off to go to bed. I ate, slept, breathed baseball. I still do. I love it. I know a lot of people think it's, one of the most boring sports to watch, and I will tell you, it's not fast paced. It's kind of a boring. You got to love the sport to watch it. But I watched a lot of baseball. I enjoyed it. I never got burnt out. Whenever I was playing, I wanted to see what the guys across the league were doing, so that way, like if we played against them, they had a good game, I'd be like, hey, great game yesterday. Like I wanted to be able to have conversations and show those guys what I was talking. I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
As a viewer, has your interest even gone up since some of the rule changes too, to kind of speed it up a little bit? How have you found yourself reacting to those?
Yeah, I'm all for the pitch clock. I love the pitch clock. I think I played against a ton of pitchers that were human rain delays. We knew that if we saw that guy running in from the bullpen, we're like, oh, here we go. This is going to be a 25-minute inning. So, yeah, I'm all for. I think there's going to be there's got to be the commissioner cannot try to just upend and change the sport of baseball and not make it baseball. But I think the rule changes with the pitch clock. I do like the ABS. I like the challenge system. Because it still gives the human element. The umpires are still calling games, but now there's some accountability. If it's a big spot, bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 9th, tie run on third base, less than 2 outs, or with 2 outs and 2 strike count, and you get rung up on a borderline pitch that normally without the ABS, the inning would have ended. But now there's challenge systems. Tap your hat. Now it's a tie game, or you're walking them off. So I like the ABS challenge system, and I like the pitch clock. Those are my 2 favorite.
I agree. All right, that was your sports six-pack, and we do have a lineup out. So Big City's going to get to play the lineup game with us next here on 101 ESPN.
Text us anytime at 314-399-9646 on the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation text line on 101 ESPN. ESPN has your chance to win a pair of passes to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Holidays in the Sky returns nightly June 20th through August 3rd at Holiday World. An all-new 500 drone show included with admission. Find your shot to score a free pair of passes right now at 101ESPN.com or your 101 mobile app. Night after night, the sky comes alive at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Get tickets at holidayworld.com. Don't slow down. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN.
All right, you know that sound. Lineup time. We got Big City in here with us. Matt Adams, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Bradford Bruns. Seth Lugo on the bump for the bad guys tonight. So that's a right-handed pitcher. What are we thinking here? J.J. Weatherholt, guys?
Yeah, I don't see...
1,000%.
I don't see... So the lineup that they've had over the last week against righties, I feel like they go back to that. So obviously J.J. Weatherholt to lead us off.
All right, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, show us J.J. Weatherholt.
the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
That's beautiful.
All right. I'm going to go with my guy here. It's been consistent for me all year. Show us Ivan Herrera.
Yes. What's your favorite position?
Designated hitter.
That's cool with me. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it for you.
Yes.
Marshy, I think that is my favorite from this year's.
I love Tenacious
group.
D. So
That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right, so it was Walker here yesterday, but that was...
I think it switches today with a righty on the mound.
Yeah.
I think we got to go. I think Burley's back in
Burley?
the 3-hole.
I agree with that.
yeah, I'm with Burley.
All right, go ahead, Marshy.
Show us Alec Burleson.
He's not some magic star.
What? You're insane. He's a huge star at this specific sliver of time.
So the background on that one is Marshy had Alec Burleson pegged. He's this is last year. He's like, what?
This is 2 years ago.
Is Alec Burleson a star? We're like, no, he's not a star. Like 2 years ago, he goes, well, is he at least a St. Louis star? So
I think he is now.
He's a stud now. Yeah, he won a Silver Slugger.
But 2 years ago.
Yeah. He's just
I'm
coming
good at
on the scene.
projecting.
Yeah, you are good at projecting. That's awesome.
Oh, man. All right, the 4-hole. I think we know who's going to be batting here. Matt? do the
Yeah.
honors.
Let's show us Jordan Walker.
That one touched the ground. That one touched the ground.
Yeah. What's going on there?
I'm just fixing something that's been bugging me.
Wait a minute. What have we here?
Hey, we're rolling right now, guys.
We are. Don't get too confident. The lineup game karma will hit us.
The next one we know too.
Oh, yeah. May I?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Show us Lars Newpark.
Captain, you hear me? On your left.
Love the Undertaker.
He's back.
I love
All right.
it. Love it.
Okay. It has been Mason Wynn.
Yeah.
Here, I think Ollie's going to go back to what was working.
So you're saying you think it's Mace?
I think it's
in the 6-hole.
I do.
Yeah, he had a couple hits yesterday. The bottom of the order was actually really good last night. I think Mason Wynn is here as well.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whose turn is it? Marshy?
Marshy.
Your turn.
Yeah, I'll go. Show us Mason Wynn.
Shortstop. That's right. Now and forever. Forever and ever. Shortstop.
We aren't in the top 10.
Wait.
This is bull.
He's the best in the business.
Best arm in baseball.
Let's go.
Okay. So this is usually where the floor gets slippery for us.
All right.
Because it's McGreevy, right, for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
So Herrera has been catching McGreevy and Palante primarily. So that would tell me that Herrera today is probably catching.
Yes.
Okay.
Jimmy Crooks did not play because Pajes was catching yesterday. I would assume that he's your DH tonight.
Okay. Is he here at number 7?
They have had him here. Blaze Jordan batting 8th, and then Nathan Church at 9.
Okay.
Blaze Jordan, I don't know the last time he hasn't played, though. Maybe they gave him a day off.
Why? He's got 2 days. He's got.
No, they got an off day tomorrow.
Yeah.
They do have
That's
an
his
off
day tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That guy is young. What the hell are you giving him a day off?
I'm just throwing it out there. Jeez. I think he's playing, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Kid made of like glass. He can't handle it, or what?
He's in the 2 spot today, not this chair. Let's move it on.
So what are we going with here?
I think it's
Crooksy?
I think it's Crooksy.
I think it's Crooks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Show us Crooks in the 7-hole.
Nobody.
Oh,
No. I know
You
you.
got it
I know
wrong,
you.
man.
He was at that party with me, the one I was telling you about. Remember? He's Jimmy's brother, the guy, the singer.
I think we're gonna bat 1,000.
Oh man! All right. So we think this is Blaze Jordan.
Yeah,
Do you or not?
I do.
Yeah, you got to, because then Church rounds it out in the 9-hole.
I believe it's Blaze
You looked
Jordan.
the other way. You weren't making eye contact.
I'm thinking about it.
Marshy wants the young guy Jordan to have an off day tonight.
I know.
I don't want him to have an off day. I'm just thinking, the double off day. Ollie likes the double off day. But let's go with Blaze Jordan. Show us Blaze Jordan.
Oh man.
It was Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering, and they were blazing that up every day.
All right. This has got to be Take Me to Church, right?
Yeah, you bring us home.
Show us Nathan Church.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones.
There you have it. A perfect game.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right. Run it for us, Bradford.
Matt, it can't possibly get better than that. Leading off and playing second base, looking to reach base maybe 5 more times. J.J. Weatherholt, your catcher and 2-hole hitter tonight. Ivan Herrera, first baseman Alec Burleson, followed by the cleanup man and right fielder Jordan Walker. Left fielder Lars Nootbaar batting 5th, followed by Mason Wynn. The shortstop, designated hitter Jimmy Crooks, Blaze Jordan at the hot corner, and rounding it out, playing center field and batting 9th, Nathan Church.
Back. Stay fair!
Go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
All right, Matt, this is called the home run game.
Okay.
So we have tiers of players. There's 1-point players, 2-point players, and 3-point players. At every game, we pick who we think is going to hit a home run.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have the standings, and first place gets to go first and work your way down. Did Carey send in his pick today?
He did, yeah. Anthony and Carey sent their picks in.
Okay.
And by the way, Bradford, the last 2 times he has stepped in for me in that chair, that player has hit a home run. So,
big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So then how do we do this? Because I don't want it to be unfair to Matt. He's 6th in the rotation here, and he gets Mason Wynn.
I think Matt takes we all
That's
make our
fine.
picks. Matt makes the pick too, and then whoever these guys have, they're not here right now, and they'll be left with whoever they pick.
I'm willing to move down. I'm confident like that. I'll move down.
I was just going to say, I got confidence 1 through 9. So if you want to give those 2 guys that aren't here,
well, here's another.
I'm
little.
good. Can't lie in my face.
I'm betting on myself over here.
I bet on you before some of these guys. Trust me.
Here's another wrinkle too. You can pick somebody that is not in the starting lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are worth 10 points if they come in as a pinch hitter and hit a home run.
Yeah.
That happened to me. We were talking about Tommy Pham.
Well, I can tell you.
That happened to me last year.
If I was still
or 2
playing,
years ago.
I made a career out of being a pinch hitter. So
Yeah.
you should. If I was still picking, I would have picked myself. Hit a homer off the bench.
Matt. Thanks for retiring. What the hell? Okay, so who's first today?
I am first.
Right, let's go.
I'm going to go with the guy that I thought maybe could have got an off day, but he's not. Blaze Jordan.
All right, and then was it me at this point?
Well, Anthony, but he's not here, so yes, you're up, Jamie.
All right, this guy has never hit a home run for me all year. Actually, once when I picked him, which is Herrera, so I'm not going there, which means you'll probably hit 2 bombs tonight. Give me Alec Burleson.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Big burly boy.
It's a good pick.
All right, is it Matt now? We're going to give Matt the... Yeah, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah? Come on, Mr. Confidence.
I'm taking your guy. I'm going Herrera.
Yeah, I know.
He's going deep
He'll
tonight.
hit one for you.
Yeah, he will.
He hates me.
He will.
Every time I
send
pick
him a message and be like, "Hey, dude, I picked you today. I need you to go deep."
Say, why are you not hitting home runs when Rivs picks you?
Right.
What did he do to you? He just wants to know to make it better. That's all.
My prediction: I think Lugo's going to hang him a curveball, and I think he's going to put it into the left field bullpen.
I like that.
I like that.
Well, I'll be watching now for sure. Bradford.
You know, in that number 7 spot in the batting order tonight, I'm loving Jimmy Crooks as the DH. Home run number 2 in the majors this season. Give it to me.
All right.
If you want it.
Anthony has Jordan Walker.
Always.
And Carey has picked, let's see here, Burleson has taken Lars Nootbaar for Carey.
Worked out all right. All right, that's your lineup. That's the home run game. Our guy, Matt Adams, is out of here. Big boy, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun.
Love having you on. We'll have you on again sometime soon.
For sure.
And then what are we doing next year? Oh, the Gauntlet.
Yes.
Up next, do we need a new contestant?
We have Greg.
All right,
Greg
we
will
got
join
Greg.
us.
Look at this. Just whatever. We're ready to go. Gauntlet next, right here in the fast lane.
Next Friday night, the future of the St. Louis Blues is on the clock, and you'll want to hear every second of it. Tune into 101 ESPN as Alex Ferrario and Donnie Fandango from the Last Minute Blues podcast host a special live NHL draft show. The Blues are loaded with multiple first-round picks, meaning this draft could shape the next era of hockey in St. Louis. And the boys will be breaking down all the picks, all the moves, and all the rumors as they happen. Who are the Blues taking? Will they make a move? Alex and Donnie will have you covered with instant analysis, special guests, and reactions all night long. 101 ESPN's live NHL Draft Show next Friday starting at 6 p.m.
Supported by Jewels on Hampton, paying some of the highest prices for gold. Visit them at jewelsonhampton.com.
WXOS HD1E St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. It's time for the Gauntlet. Team USA, by the way, 2-0 victors today against Australia. So USA with a huge win at the World Cup. Let's head out now to the phone lines. Welcoming Greg today. Greg, how we doing, bud?
Hey, doing good. How you doing?
We're good, man. We're good. USA's winning. The sun shines out. It's Friday. I mean, life can't get any better than this.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So a little bit of a depleted staff here today as far as Gauntlet participants. You know, it's either Marshy or me today. What are you picking?
I'm going to go you, Jamie.
All right.
Ooh.
That's 3 in a row for me. 3 days in a row. You guys are wearing me down, man. All right, Greg. Good luck, buddy.
All right. Good luck, Jamie.
Thank you.
All right, Greg, Jamie is heading to the Cone of Silence. Please tell Bradford to spin that wheel, and we'll see what category you get.
All right, spin that wheel.
All right, Greg, is there a particular category that you want or do not want?
I'd probably hope for baseball or random.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
However... oh, man. Going into his backyard, the wheelhouse. It came up hockey, buddy.
No way.
Yes way, unfortunately. Bradford, can you give me the launch codes, and we will read off these questions. Greg, for those that do not know how the Gauntlet works, you and Jamie will get the same 4 questions. If you get said question right without using the options, you will get 2 points. If you get it right with the options, you get 1 point. And, of course, if you get it wrong, you get 0 points. Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right. Hockey is the category. Question number 1. There were 2 Canadian teams to play in the first ever National Hockey League game on December 19th, 1917. One of those teams was the Montreal Canadiens. Name their opponent.
I'm not going to know it either way. I'm just going to say the Maple Leafs.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, sir. Former St. Louis Blues goaltender Glenn Hall is 4th on the list for most career shutouts. But can you tell us the goaltender who also played for St. Louis, who holds the top spot with the most shutouts in NHL history?
Let's go options.
They are Terry Sawchuk, Martin Brodeur, or Tiny Thompson.
I'm going to say Brodeur.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. Phil Kessel holds the record for most consecutive games played throughout NHL history at 1,064. What former St. Louis Blues defenseman who wrapped up his career in 2020 holds the number 10 spot with 737 consecutive games played?
Oh, man. I think I might know this one, but give me the options.
Options are Marco Scandella, Jay Bouwmeester, or Carl Gunnarsson.
Not what I was expecting. I'm going to go, let's go Bouwmeester.
Final answer?
Final answer.
And finally, in 21 seasons, Alex Ovechkin has recorded 34 hat tricks. Who holds the record with 53 or more goal games in just 20 seasons?
Give me the options.
Okay. Mike Bossy, Mario Lemieux, or Wayne Gretzky?
Seems like Lemieux and Gretzky beat. Let's go Bossy.
Final as well?
Yep, let's go.
Okay.
All right, let's bring Jamie in. Hopefully he can see Bradford waving him down. Greg, how you feeling after today's round?
Not great.
All right, well, we'll see how Jamie does in hockey today.
Oh, wow.
Hockey was the category yesterday. Jamie took down Charles, and Jamie recorded a snowman. You got 8 points yesterday. We'll see if that is the case today.
Okay.
Bradford?
You must pack that lunch on a Friday.
Okay. All right. Let's see what Greg's got.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. There were 2 Canadian teams to play in the first ever National Hockey League game on December 19th, 1917. One of those teams was the Montreal Canadiens. Name their opponent.
Well, actually, it was the Montreal Wanderers, and they played against the Toronto Arenas. So if that's the case, I would say the Toronto Maple Leafs then would be this one. Final answer, depending on what you've got for an answer there. There's a Maple Leafs franchise, but they're called the Arenas.
Intriguing.
Final answer.
Question number 2. Former St. Louis Blues netminder Glenn Hall is 4th on the list for most career shutouts. Can you tell us the goaltender, Jamie, who also played for St. Louis, and he holds the top spot with the most shutouts in NHL history?
That would be Martin Brodeur. Played a very good defensive team in New Jersey. He was an excellent goalie. Final answer.
Question number 3. Phil Kessel holds the record for most consecutive games played throughout NHL history at 1,064. What former St. Louis Blues defenseman who wrapped up his career in 2020 holds the number 10 spot with 737 consecutive games played?
Yeah, it's ironic. For sure, Jay Bouwmeester would be that player. And then it happened to the horrific thing that happened to him. Didn't help out that streak for sure. So Jay Bouwmeester, final answer.
Jamie, question number 4. In 21 seasons, Alexander Ovechkin has recorded 34 hat tricks. But who holds the record with 53 or more goal games in just 20 seasons?
53? Is it that many? I thought it was only 50. I bet it's Wayne Gretzky. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Jamie versus Greg in hockey. Why don't we start with question number 1, Bradford?
We shall.
There were 2 Canadian teams to play in the first ever National Hockey League game on December 19th, 1917. One of those teams was the Montreal Canadiens. Name their opponent. Jamie, you said the Maple Leafs or the
Toronto Arenas.
Toronto Arenas. Greg also said the Maple Leafs without the options. Correct answer is...
The record indicates the Ottawa Senators.
Ooh, that's wrong.
We'll see if it... We'll come back to this. We'll see if it has any impact on today's Gauntlet.
Stay tuned.
What was the date again?
1917.
December 19th. Remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
Well, while you look that up, let's move on to question number 2. Former St. Louis Blues goaltender Glenn Hall is 4th on the list for most career shutouts. What goaltender, who also played for St. Louis, holds the top spot with the most shutouts in NHL history? Jamie, you said Martin Brodeur. Greg also said Martin Brodeur. The correct answer is...
Give us that legendary Marty Brodeur.
But Greg used the options. 2-1 as it stands in favor of Jamie. Question 3. Phil Kessel holds the record for most consecutive games played throughout NHL history at 1,064. What former St. Louis Blues defenseman who wrapped up his career in 2020 holds the number 10 spot with 737 consecutive games played? Jamie, you said Jay Bouwmeester without the options. Greg also said Jay Bouwmeester. Correct answer is...
Make it 2 in a row, Jay Bouwmeester.
Speaking of 2 in a row, Greg used the options. 4-2 heading into the final question. In 21 seasons, Alex Ovechkin has recorded 34 hat tricks. Who holds the record with 53 or more goal games in just 20 seasons? Jamie, you said Wayne Gretzky. Greg said Mike Bossy. The correct answer is...
Oh, that's 99, buddy.
Wayne Gretzky. Greg?
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
So it looked like the first question didn't really matter.
So on the first question, this is funny. This is actually really funny. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Ottawa Senators, and the Montreal Wanderers beat the Toronto Arenas.
Same night?
Same night.
Was the Arenas and the Wanderers the second game of the night?
I don't know. It doesn't say the time of the games. So all 4 are Canadian teams.
Yep.
All 4 played on that day. So that's, anyways.
Yep, and you were wrong.
I guess I was. I mean, half a point maybe? I don't know. Well, anyways, Greg, sorry, man. We got you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you have
too,
a great
Greg.
weekend, man. Thanks for listening.
All right, thanks. See ya.
That's crazy. Yeah, the newly formed NHL begin play. Montreal Canadiens beat the Ottawa Senators 7-4, and the Montreal Wanderers hold off the Toronto Arenas 10-9.
You're telling me Hockey Reference doesn't have the puck drop time, the total length of the game? What's up?
Well, I'm just on NHL.com. But, yeah, weird. Oh, well.
The 618 says, too much hockey. Let's do baseball. Sounds like the 618 is questioning the wheel, and that's something that you never want to do.
No. Be careful for what
Or
you
just,
wish.
how about you just know more about hockey? How about that? Huh?
Whoa.
And Jamie shouldn't be allowed to do their sports. What? You don't have a problem on any other time. Like Carey does football. Anthony does football. They're football guys.
Heaven forbid we pose an Atlanta or Pittsburgh-centric question any day of the year.
Well,
My
that
goodness.
has happened before.
It does happen. So, all right. Well, that was the gauntlet. Let's move on here. Is the knockout stage good enough for Team USA? We just talked about their big win today, 2-0. That automatically advances them to the round of 32, right? Heck of that.
Yep.
Let's talk about Team USA and what our expectations are next, right here on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Welcome back inside the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Bradford Bruns, Jamie Rivers here. And we're going to talk some soccer. That's right. You do not adjust your radio. We are talking soccer.
Where's Anthony?
Yeah, we need our soccer guy. I wonder if he's back from New York yet. Saw a lot of action from the parade. Anthony sent us a few videos from his phone.
Was he up on one of the stoplights?
Yeah, he was one of those guys. And the one video he showed was a very large human reaching up, grabbing his foot, and pulling him off. And he was like, got all scrambly. But
I thought he was the one to whom Jalen Brunson was talking that ish. No?
Maybe. Probably ended up there, yeah. Knowing Anthony, he had a few makers in him, and oh, man, he will crap talk anybody. So, but yeah, Team USA, big win today, 2-0 over Australia. This gets them into the round of 32. How do we feel about that? Is that good enough for a U.S. soccer fan that you got into the 32, or like should soccer fans be expecting more?
I think it's almost like a no-brainer that you should be at this spot. Like, you should get to the knockout stages. Am I wrong? Like, I feel like they should win in the knockout stages and at least win one game.
Yeah, the expectation is getting there. I don't know about winning given the last iteration of this team that we saw.
But do we not want progress?
4 years ago. No, sure. No, I clearly am with you on that front. I think today, and you can't look at everything, the result notwithstanding, and it was great. You won 2-0. You did so in the Pacific Northwest against a respectable, by all accounts, Australian team. But to me, the bigger narrative, guys, stemming from today's result, the fact that you did it without far and away your most recognizable player, your biggest offensive threat in the form of Christian Pulisic, doing that is no small task, okay? This is the guy who basically is the hub, the linchpin of your offense. And also, we shouldn't look away from this fact. This is the first time since 1930, and yeah, that says a lot about the history of U.S. soccer or lack thereof. But it's the first time since 1930 that this program, this nation, has won back-to-back World Cup matches. Let that sink in. I'm not talking about draws. I'm talking about back-to-back victories. You're in the driver's seat now for Group D. All you have to do to win the whole thing is put up a tie in your next match. So building that momentum and somehow finding a way to do that without your best, that's a huge coup in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a long time. You're closer in that time frame to the first NHL game ever played, which of course was the Canadians and the Senators.
Yes.
I'm assuming following the Arenas and the Wanderers, of course. It's been a long time, but how many times have we talked about how much U.S. soccer needs to evolve and to progress? And so far, these first two games, I would assume that a lot of fans of this Team USA squad are excited about what we are witnessing. And maybe I'm one of them where I feel like, okay, you've won your first two matches. Maybe I'm starting to expect more. But I guess when you do get to the knockout stages, it just depends on if you do have Pulisic. Like, if they lose and he's not playing, he's a little banged up, whatever it may be, and they lose, I will understand that given you will be playing a tougher country.
Yeah. I'm happy for Team USA. The fact that it's the first time they put back-to-back wins together. I mean, all of this, they're great accomplishments. Do I also look at their division and think that it's not the strongest division? Yeah, we can do that. If you want to be negative or pessimistic about it, you can do that.
It's not the group of death like the last time around.
100%. It's not. But you're winning the games that you're playing. So, I mean, how can you knock that? Everybody else says, well, you can't. You play the teams that are on your schedule. Well, here you're playing the teams that are in your group that are on your schedule, and you're winning. So, I think it's good. I think it's cool. I would like to see them win the next, like, not the next game in the division, but once they get to the knockout round, I'd like to see them win one game in the knockout round, at least. Like, I'd like to see them win the whole thing, but I don't think that's realistic. Certainly if they don't have their best player, that's going to be really difficult. Yeah. But I'm happy for U.S. soccer. I've said for years I thought that United States soccer should be higher up in the world, and maybe it's that time where they're going to start climbing up into a respectable spot globally.
And think about the last time this nation hosted the World Cup. You have to go back to 1994, and there was an ample amount, a ton of enthusiasm, excitement around that time. You had the personalities, you had Alexi Lalas and company, you had stars, you had individuals to market, and yet really the traction couldn't progress and move from one event to the next. You've been trying to get past that knockout phase and really compete for medals per se, but it just hasn't really materialized. And I think the groundswell of support here on domestic soil beginning in 94, you would have hoped in the subsequent 30 or so years you would have been able to build up more of that. But wouldn't it be interesting in a year in which, in my opinion, guys, maybe the expectations aren't sky high with the new head coach, the new manager, if you will, at the helm, that perhaps this is the year in which you do a little bit of business. And the beautiful thing about the beautiful game in this instance for the U.S. and the fan base is the fact that you do now essentially wait another week until you have to match up against Turkey. We obviously don't know the full extent of the Pulisic injury, but you're dealing with a calf. Any additional time that he can be given, because let's make no mistake about it, all of the hopes for really advancing that much more, they hinge on your best player. You can't hope to do anything beyond that if he isn't available to you.
Yeah, I agree. And, yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's wild because, you know, I think back to Landon Donovan and even Alexi Lalas was just up there. Like, the U.S. has had some serious players, even from an international standpoint. And, you know, they've just never been able to crack that code of being a team that every year or every World Cup, people are like, woof, the U.S. You know, like, you think of Argentina. That's been a pretty dominant team for many of World Cups.
I was just thinking of that.
Brazil, you know, that's another team. Like, you just think of these teams. And France, now they're not so great now, but they had a good run there for a while. So the U.S. is yet to be mentioned in the same breath as some of those countries. Maybe this is the year.
By the way, how impressive is it that Messi is still putting up hat-tricks in Kansas City, no less, at that age, kind of really raging against the light one more time for an Argentinian run? That's pretty special.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, and we talked, the polar opposite of that was, surrounding our conversation, Carey brought up is Ronaldo. Yeah. He's almost at a spot. I'm not judging it because I'm not smart enough to watch soccer and say how terrible or how great he is. But apparently it's being communicated that he's hurting the team more than helping the team. And then on the flip side, you got Lionel Messi, who's lighting the lamp left and right over there.
By the way, France is the betting odds to win the World Cup.
Are they this year?
Yeah, they were in the final the last World Cup against Argentina.
My bad.
They got Mbappe on their team. With the United States, though, like, what is the ceiling for this squad? Is it like a semifinal appearance? Is that too lofty of expectations?
I think that's pretty lofty.
You're pushing for it. I mean, why not, right? Because at the very least, you defy then the expectations, and maybe you do move that coin, if you will, a little bit farther ahead as far as momentum for this program. I think if you were to have told me before the World Cup even commenced, all right, with the new head coach at the helm, you're trying to really figure out what the identity is, I would have said maybe a little lofty, but given the way this team has performed in the first two games, and you go up early again, once again today, on the own goal, and you're able to really push through in a fairly physical game, but there wasn't any question it appeared down the stretch. You won 2-0. I don't want to say with relative ease, but you took care of business for the second consecutive game, and you're playing, obviously, the squads that you have there on paper, and I think the showings were more dominant or as dominant as those for which you could have hoped.
So the betting odds to win the World Cup, you have France, Spain, England, Argentina. Do you think that any team, any country outside of these four has a chance to win?
No. I mean,
probably not.
I mean, I got it. Yes, everybody's got a chance, Andrew.
The field expanded.
Yeah, but that right there, those are your heavyweight hitters, right? Those are your guys. Like, I would be more shocked if one of those teams didn't win it, if that makes sense. Just based on, well, I didn't realize France was so powerful. I thought they dropped off, but that's my bad, you know?
Italy is the team that
Italy
you might have been thinking of.
They didn't even make it, did they?
No.
Yeah, that's weird.
We did talk about them the other day, so maybe that's who you were thinking of.
I don't know. Brain damage every now and then.
Watch out for those Canadians, too. Not on the ice.
No, pesky Canadians are making some noise. No, they're not. Don't worry about it.
Qatar went down.
Yeah, they got one win, one draw. Mexico's 2-0 right now. Canada, though, +6 goal differential.
Well, that was the last game, 6-0. All right, well, keep your eyes on the World Cup. If nothing else, man, it's a really fun watch, especially as the field does thin out to get where you get to these awesome teams. Even if you're not a soccer fan, trust me, you will appreciate just how good some of these players are. You can tell Bradford's here today. Boy, more negativity. Are there more cracks in the foundation than we think when it comes to the Cardinals? Well, negative Bradford. Tell you all about it next here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
America outlasts Australia. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. About 30 minutes ago in Seattle, the U.S. national team polished off a 2-0 victory over Australia. Group D action continuing to unfold in the FIFA World Cup. As a result, Team USA guaranteed its 4th consecutive round of 32 appearance in the World Cup. Next Thursday, the next matchup against Turkey. Tonight at Kauffman Stadium, the Cardinals and Royals resuming their 4-game set. STL trying to bounce back after last night's 14-6 drubbing at the hands of Kansas City. Michael McGreevy tries to be the stopper. He will be opposed on the mound by Royals righty Seth Lugo. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
2 former pros and 1 average Joe. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Let's not forget about the Daily Drop. It's been going now for almost a week here. The Daily Drop is controlled by you, the listener. All you have to do is get on the 101 ESPN mobile app, click that little microphone, leave us a message. A question, a comment, Cardinals, Blues, you can ask us absolutely anything. Or if you have a complaint about bad driving or somebody with a shopping cart in the middle of the way, whatever it is, we are here for you. We're here for you. That's the Daily Drop. All right, Bradford, what'd you cook up here? The Cardinals really suck more than we think. Is that what it is?
Well, I like to think of it as a collaboration, Jamie. But this idea was born out of the outcome, the result last night, and the fact that, rightfully so, we gave a lot of junk near the top of the show to the starter, the main hurler, the left-hander, Matthew Liberatore. After all, guys, Kansas City had been 3-17 in its previous 20 outings against a lefty, for crying out loud. But it's not as if Matthew Liberatore was the only source of exasperation last night. And I think if you look all together from top to bottom at the pitching staff and especially the relief corps, we saw the work yesterday of Gordon Graceffo. And granted, for the better part of 2026, you've been able to rely on him for significant innings, effective innings at that. I think at this point in time, you pretty much know what a Justin Brule outing is going to get you later on in the festivities too. But truth be told, no pitcher last night was able to escape from that inglorious game. You gave up 17 hits overall. And yeah, there are a few different spots you can nitpick definitely for this team. But it goes beyond, for me, Marshy, the starting pitcher in Matthew Liberatore and maybe the guys who aren't necessarily in line for the most high-leverage work out of the bullpen, excluding Riley O'Brien, excluding, obviously, a Jojo Romero, and talking about the guys, the bridges you still need to get you from point A to point B. And last night, case in point, you still have some worries about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with this team, all season long, for whatever reason, I've been looking at the build as the positional players and then the pitchers. And this team has surprised us for sure. They're playing good baseball overall. They're number one in the wild card. I think this team can be a playoff team. But we saw last year in July, things went sideways for this team. And it was the pitching. The pitching was not good. And I just wonder if the amount of innings that your starters are giving you, of course, Palante, McGreevy, and Dustin May have been fantastic, but there's two there, we saw it last night, where you just don't know what you're going to get. And that can be taxing on a bullpen, and we've already seen the bullpen blow games before, even when you are getting good starts. I just wonder if this team can truly be what we hope them to be at this current point in time this season with the current group that they have on the mound.
So let me ask this, okay? Because I've been looking around the league a little more recently at bullpen situations. Is this a thing for the Cardinals, or is this a thing that happens once every so often? Because I'm looking at some of the teams around the league, and it looks like once every 6-7 games, there's like a bullpen blow-up to where stuff just goes sideways. It's no good. But then, you know, they lock in again. And that's the beauty of being a really good bullpen pitcher, is forgetting the night before and shoving the next night. So is it truly a bullpen thing? Or is it just a thing every so often for the Cardinals? Because I feel like I was so mad at Stanek. I'm like, that guy, yeah. And then all of a sudden he locks it in. And then O'Brien has bumps in the road for a couple of games. And then he locks it in again. So is it consistently bad bullpen? Or are we just looking at it to where we get so pissed off at the bullpen because they do blow a game every 5 or 6?
It can be a little bit of both. For me personally, I am looking ahead. I'm looking several steps from actually away from the here and now, because if you were to take away, this is a strong possibility. You still have to consider the long view here for the organization and the philosophy as stated before this torrid start to the season. And let's say you do remove a Riley O'Brien from the equation. Now, granted, he has an ERA of 6 in the month of June, But prior to that, you could say, my goodness gracious, he was performing like an all-star caliber closer. Jojo Romero, I would still say lefty, righty, doesn't really matter about the hand there, is one of the more premier options as a setup man in Major League Baseball. Now, what happens if just a piece or two gets removed from that equation? You decide, all right, you know what? We're in the mix, but not really in the mix. We're not competing or going all in this year, this fall. And you happen to deal one or two of those pieces. We've already seen this month hasn't been as kind to George Soriano. Ryan Stanek has bounced up and down. And that's to say nothing of the guys we just referenced in Graceffo, Brule, etc. I'm thinking that it is a matter of time until the dam potentially does burst, because if you take just one or two pieces away from the configuration right now, Marshy, then think about what it could be like if your more stable pieces aren't in place.
You can also go find a couple of bullpen arms, too, at the deadline. Like if you're Chaim Bloom and you get a great deal on the table for O'Brien or JoJo, I'm not saying they're easily replaceable, either guy, but everybody I talk to in baseball is like, oh, yeah, you guys go get a bullpen arm. Those guys are easy to find. And they seem to treat it like it's not a thing at all.
We have internal options as well. We just saw Max Rajic come up yesterday.
Magic Rajic.
Magic Rajic. Obviously,
Rajic
he gave up a few runs that were inherited, but a home run as well, but had a clean inning in his first full inning of work. So, we'll see how he does. He could be a piece that you use as well. There's some other guys. We saw Bryson Motts earlier when the Cardinals took on the Brewers. Bring him back up. A few other names as well. So maybe that's their route as the season progresses. I'm having a hard time as a fan, separating, or not separating, but I look at the offense and I'm just like, man, this offense is good, man. Yeah. They're a really good offense. Even last night, they got smoked, but they scored 6 runs. This offense can play. It's just these guys in the bullpen who more than likely won't have a future here in St. Louis. I said it the other day. They're sort of ruining the party for everybody at times. And it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. But, it seems to be a thing that they say, well, that's baseball. And I hate that answer. I hate
baseball.
that answer. But that's kind of what it is. You different teams at different times of the season are all saying the same thing as what you just said. Maybe it's not an identical situation, but I feel like bullpens go through ebbs and flows throughout 162 games.
Yeah. I look at the Cardinals bullpen, their ERA right now, they rank 19th in Major League Baseball. There's only one team under them that is a current playoff team. That's the Tampa Bay Rays, who are actually a really good baseball team. 4.67
Make it make sense.
ERA for their bullpen. The Cardinals currently sit at 4.33.
That's crazy.
So I think if the Cardinals are going to fall out of the playoffs, I think it's going to be because of the pitching.
Yeah, I would agree with
probably
that.
an obvious
Whether it's
statement.
rotation or bullpen, like Matthew Liberatore, we're still dealing with that experiment. Kyle Leahy, we're still dealing with that. The other 3 guys I'm pretty confident in that they're going to be more consistent than not. Certainly Dustin May has proven that he looks like he's the real deal. Yeah, it's going to be part of the rotation and part of your bullpen that will make or break you.
Man, I'm just scared, if they do trade away Dustin May, who's going to take these innings for the Cardinals?
Precisely.
He threw, so if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct, Matthew Liberatore's last 3 starts, he pitched 4 more, he got 4 more outs in his last 3 starts combined than Dustin May did on, what was it, Monday or 2? It was Monday.
Yeah. We'll just go back to the last 2 games, or 3 games. May pitched, 8 innings, 7 innings, 9 innings. That's what his 3 last, and look at Liberatore. An inning and 2/3 yesterday, and then he barely gets to 5 every time he starts. So.
No, and to expand the point, you expect 6 at minimum from a McGreevy every single time out.
And
Palante has extended himself to the max. So it's an interesting dynamic because on one hand, guys, you're kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop. Either somebody being dealt, maybe not able to work as deep into a ball game, and then at that point, okay, you're reliant suddenly on the bullpen for even more innings, but you're still threading the needle because at 40-33 now, yeah, you're 5.5 games back in the division, but as Big City stood here an hour or so ago himself and said, you are in that ownership, you're owning the first wild card spot at present. So you have the eye on the future, but in the present, you're trying to thread the needle because you're thinking that one aspect of the bullpen in particular, it's dragging you back. Where could you be?
Do you think, and this just sort of came to mind, if the Cardinals are in a spot come trade deadline, they're in the same position. They're the fourth best team in the National League. Chaim Bloom has a plan. Do you think that ownership steps in and says, we got to get to the playoffs?
I think ownership says, we're going to do whatever you think is right, Chaim.
Okay.
You've got us to this point. This is the team you've assembled. You've made some changes and tweaked some things, and you've gutted it out with some of these players when we thought they were done.
I agree.
I think they're going to say, this is yours. I'm going to be up in the owner's suite. I'm going to have an ice-cold beverage and watch the baseball game. To me, that would be the smart thing for the DeWitts to do. Don't meddle. So I do want to address one thing real quick. Thrilla in Manila says this conversation wouldn't even be happening if the defense played good last night. But the defense was so bad they got Liberatore pulled.
They got Liberatore pulled.
Oh, pulled. Okay. Well, I don't think that's true. When a team hits 5 doubles in a row, what's the defense supposed to do?
You didn't see hard contact? You didn't see any hard contact?
Blaze Jordan, he dove. It was 109 miles an hour off the bat, and he's supposed to stab that at third base?
I mean, you had the Velasquez error. Of course, you probably get out of that inning. And instead of scoring 7 runs, the Royals maybe score 5.
But show me another obvious one.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, bottom line, Matthew Liberatore wasn't good last night.
No, he was terrible.
He wasn't good.
He was pitching batting practice. Somebody today asked if he was tipping pitches. I don't know. Maybe he was.
I think he was missing pitches.
He was definitely doing that.
Like, you put a good defense out there, yeah, maybe they score 5 instead of 7.
A good defense. The Cardinals have a good defense.
They do. Last night, they did not have their best defense in the outfield.
No, I'm not going to blame them for Liberatore throwing batting practice.
Yeah, we're looking at it in a vacuum there because if there's one component of this team, and I'm including the offense here, Marshy, one area that you cannot possibly, for the entirety of the season, basically malign, it would be that defense. And that, too, had an off night, sure, but you were getting battered from the beginning.
Good thing is, right back at it tonight. Yeah. That's the one thing about baseball that is wonderful. You don't have a long time to sit there and stew on a loss. So we'll see if the Redbirds come back with a better effort tonight. All right, which NFL breakouts and nosedives will continue? We'll talk about that next right here on 101 ESPN.
Tomorrow, Braves and Brewers. Pregame at 2:30, first pitch at 3:10. The MLB plays on 101 ESPN.
Wrestling here at 101 ESPN. And a little NFL breakouts and nosedives and who will continue going which way or the other. Take it away, Bradford.
Yeah, yesterday, guys, you had a comparable segment. I thought today, based on a little study conducted by ESPN.com, we dive into some NFL breakouts from a season ago and also some guys who were on the skids, to be honest. Will those trends continue moving forward in 2026? So let's start at the top. Somebody who was literally at the top of so many of the statistical categories and got paid accordingly. Jackson Smith-Njigba of the Seahawks, 1A as far as NFL wide receivers were concerned a year ago. But going into this season, guys, perhaps with a little more of the focus on him, having lost Kenneth Walker II, obviously, and all eyes once again on Sam Darnold as Seattle tries to repeat. Jackson Smith-Njigba, are you looking for him to continue to push the boundaries, or will there be maybe a little bit of slippage?
Let's see here. I think it's going to stay fairly consistent. I mean, same coach, offense, same quarterback.
Different offensive coordinator.
Different OC.
True.
So maybe that plays into it, but then again, maybe it helps him too. Maybe it makes no difference for a guy that's that talented. And him and Sam Darnold seem to have good chemistry from quarterback to receiver. I don't see him slipping. I don't know if he gets any better, if that's even possible, really. I think we'll see another great season out of him.
I don't know if he'll lead the league in receiving yards next year. It really depends on the quarterback play. Do you think Sam Darnold is going to continue to ascend like we've seen the past two seasons? If you do, well, then you would have to assume that Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to ultimately benefit from that. I do question the offensive coordinator move. You lose your offensive coordinator. We've seen teams in the past where you bring in a new guy and it just isn't the same. We saw the Eagles, they won a Super Bowl. Those two coordinators went elsewhere to get, they lost the Super Bowl. They got a new offensive coordinator. They took a step back and then they finally figured it out, went back to the Super Bowl. They've had some changes here and there, and it's been an up and down road for Philly. I wonder what that looks like for Seattle this year, but I do believe that he'll still be top 5 in terms of wide receivers this year. I don't see that big of a drop-off. He has been, we talk about growth, like he has steadily been getting better and better every single season. So I don't see a huge cliff fall.
Yeah, who cares if he doesn't have the biggest stature, because there is nobody in the league who is as smooth going into and coming out of breaks. You can line him up, align him wherever on the field. I see big things once again for him. Now, from wide receiver to quarterback, provided that there is a return date coming up, that would pertain to Colts QB Daniel Jones. Now, last season, guys, through the first quarter of the schedule, Daniel Jones was an early season MVP-ish candidate, but latter half of the season didn't go so well. Season-ending Achilles injury, still put up good numbers, and it seems to be a nice fit for him there in Indianapolis. When Jones ultimately returns, do you envision even more of that breakout continuing, or is this a cliff fall poised to happen?
Oh, man, that's a tough one, because it was so out of the norm for him to be playing so well at quarterback. But he did get away from the Giants, so that's a good thing. Man, I don't know. He's coming off, I think it's going to be a dip for him. Coming off a really gruesome injury. The bar was set so high with how well they were playing. I don't think there's anywhere to go but down on this one.
I agree with you. So, the last time that he played well and received a contract, he proceeded to follow up the next season with 6 games played, less than 1,000 yards, then followed that season up with 10 games played, did throw for over 2,000 yards, but there was a reason why the Giants moved on. There's just something about him where, like, he has that one good season, and then he gets paid, and then he becomes the Daniel Jones that we know. That's what I feel like is going to happen here in Indianapolis.
And a lot of things were working, make no mistake about it, in his favor. Jonathan Taylor had never been better. You had Michael Pittman Jr. along with Tyler Warren, phenomenal tight end coming out of Penn State. Well, now you opted to pay Alec Pierce. He's the undisputed number one. Here's a problem. He's recovering as well from offseason surgery on his ankle. Okay, Pittman Jr. left to go to Carey's Steelers. A good threat. Somebody who actually led the league, or led the team rather, in touchdown catches a year ago. I see slippage there from Daniel Jones. Last year was a good setup. Not that he can't be competent, but Indianapolis just was playing way over its skis last season.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Taylor, too. How many times over the last, 4 years has Jonathan Taylor played a full schedule in the NFL?
Twice?
The last time he played 17 games outside of last season was in 2021.
Yeah,
that dude is always injured. You couple that with Daniel Jones coming back from injury, I don't see it working out well for Indianapolis this upcoming season. But if they prove me wrong, well, then good for them.
And Taylor, as well as getting into his later 20s, bear that in mind as well. Sticking with the offensive side of the football, going back to receiver, though, somebody who was a big-time threat at the X spot last year for the Cowboys, working in tandem with none other than Mr. Lamb. That's George Pickens, okay? Posted career highs across the board. Everybody was wondering, Jamie, could he translate the promise, the glimpses of success from Pittsburgh? Well, he showed out. I don't know about the long-term viability there in Dallas, but I do know when you're talking about the triplets on offense along with Dak Prescott, those guys can go. Do you see Pickens putting together another big season or slipping back a little bit and maybe going elsewhere?
Oh, man, that's tough because I feel like he wears out his welcome real fast.
He has in the past.
Yeah. So you wonder if this continues to go or if it starts to implode. Didn't they franchise tag him? Is that am I right on that one, Bradford?
I believe so.
So this is essentially a bit of a contract year for him. I think you see him have a hell of a year.
I do too. I mean, there were points throughout the year where you wondered what that production would look like, because CeeDee Lamb was injured for a few games, and George Pickens was unbelievable. I mean, for as much doubt as most of us Americans have about the Dallas Cowboys in terms of actually doing something significant, that offense is pretty fun to watch. And so defensively, you're going to have a tough time stopping not only CeeDee Lamb, but George Pickens.
Yeah.
And if you got to cover CeeDee Lamb, well, George Pickens is going to be open. And you throw that deep ball, more times than not, he's catching it. I think he continues to do what he did last year, and he's going to have a great season.
And at the time of the draft, he stated, yeah, I'm okay with that tag. I'm betting on myself. I'm betting on myself to try to eclipse 1,400 yards again. Mind you, a total that was third in the National Football League. Yeah, at minimum, Marshy, that is a heck of a fun offense to monitor. We'll do one more quickly because we have to take it to the NFC South. Stoltz may not be here, but you know who is in the ATL? Tua Tagovailoa. We'll see whether he ultimately fins off Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback. But we know, Jamie, the last few seasons in Miami did not work out well whatsoever. He doesn't exactly have a murderer's row around him from a vertical standpoint. Now, Drake London did sign the extension. You're always going to lean heavily on Bijan Robinson. Does Tua at all come close to recapturing a little bit of that efficient form he showed a few years ago?
I don't think so. I just don't think so, especially with the Atlanta Falcons. There's just not enough there. I think that he's going to be under pressure a lot more often than not. To me, he's a rhythm and accuracy quarterback, and a lot of teams are going to get to him quickly. I don't see that rhythm being fantastic for him. I don't think he has a good year.
I mean, let's not act like he didn't have weapons around him in Miami.
Oh, of course he did.
You know, like, he has weapons here in Atlanta, but he had weapons in Miami, and it did not work.
Better ones.
They were supposed to have a contending team. They were supposed to in Miami.
They did until December.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't really see it working out. I don't. Now, it could work out for the fact that it's a new place. Obviously, we've had conversations before. Oh, just, maybe it needs a change of scenery. Maybe that is the case. But when that other team is the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know.
And the problem in Atlanta is that you don't, right now on the roster, it seems, have a ceiling raiser at quarterback, okay? That celebrated draft class, I'm sorry, Michael Penix Jr. hasn't demonstrated anything to this point. Tua has been okay. He's been efficient. He hasn't elevated an offense really accordingly. It's pretty simple. You put the football in the gut of Bijan Robinson, and you rely on a defense that is improving, and last season was at least able to get after the QB.
I will say the one thing that does help Tua is the fact that Atlanta was ranked 30th, tied with the Denver Broncos for the fewest sacks allowed in the NFL.
Good line.
So
Protection.
that is good. That is good for him, and maybe that is the difference.
Maybe.
So you look at Miami; they were 16th, so middle of the pack.
Be interesting to see what unfolds there in Atlanta, for sure. All right, we are going to have the biggest question of the day coming up next. Also, don't forget about the daily drop. That's about 15 minutes from now. 101 ESPN mobile app. Leave us a mic drop. Question, comment, concern, whatever you want. It's your time to talk. That'll be in 15 minutes. But biggest question of the day next here on 101 ESPN.
Get social with 101 ESPN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube at 101 ESPN.
Alex Ferrario here. If you could spare 2 minutes, then you can check your insurance. James Carlton State Farm makes it simple. Go to carltonhelps.com and see where you stand. No pressure, no spam, just a quick quote. You might save money, and you might not, but at least you're going to know where you stand. I know this because I saved hundreds thanks to James and the biggest rate decrease in his 18-year career. carltonhelps.com or text SAVE to 314-961-4800, and they'll call you right back to get started. Fast, easy, done. carltonhelps.com.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day. Presented by Banner Construction, the experts in James Hardy siding.
5:05 here in the Fast Lane. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. Remember, Daily Drop coming up next. Get your mic drops in. It's a Friday. You have no excuse, no reason. Get your mic drops in. You want to be heard? Now's your chance to do so. Until then, we'll do biggest question today. Bradford?
Jamie, throughout the show, we've had a few different grievances, because I'm in the house, of course, about the manner in which the series opener last night played out at Kauffman Stadium. By this point, everybody knows Cardinals fell and fell hard by the final of 14-6 to Kansas City. Yes, hapless, woeful, last place Kansas City. Offense put up 6 runs. You put up 13 hits overall, and Jordan Walker did have 2 of those. Jordan Walker's average in the month of June remains pretty sublime. He's at 290 precisely. But I've got to pose that question, gentlemen. Last night as well, he just drew his first walk of the month. So the OBP for the month overall, with last night's 3 times having reached base, it's at 306. Compare that to May, when he not only hit 296, he was getting on base at a 361 clip and slugging at a 551 rate. You have to consider the strikeouts at this point. He has 20 through 71 plate appearances this month. The slight power dip, and I do say slight, again, that's the qualifier, 3 home runs so far this month. We're not ringing or sounding the alarm bells here, but is there any concern at all about the way in which Walker is approaching this month, the tail end of this month, when it comes to chase rate? It's way up.
I have noticed that. I have noticed that some of the at-bats that I've been watching where he is swinging at pitches that when he looks dialed in, he's not swinging at those. Even last night, there was a pitch that was well above the strike zone that I think he wanted to swing at. I think he ended up checking his swing, if I'm not mistaken. But even offering at that, I was like, oh, boy. But I think that Jordan Walker, throughout the 2026 season, has sort of gone into little mini slumps, and he's worked his way out of it. So I'm not too concerned. 296 on the month. In terms of his average, I'd take that over, previous years. Plus, when he is making contact with the ball, he's smoking the ball. He had 2 hits yesterday. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about it right now. The only thing that I would look at is, you talked about the slug in the month of June. You look at some of the opponents. Texas under 500, Cincinnati. They're under 500 now. The Mets, not a good baseball team. Minnesota, under 500. And then now you're taking on Kansas City. It's been 1 game, but this is that stretch of games where maybe he would mash more, because coming up in July, you have a hard schedule.
Bingo.
So if this is like a precursor to what is to come, then maybe I start to worry. But as of right now, not too worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. The average is identical to what he had in May. Slug is down, like you guys just talked about. OPS is down as well. But it's a long season. Like, the dip is not so drastic where I look at it and go, oh, boy, the wheels are falling off. Mm-hmm. I still think, when he's hitting the ball, he's still hitting it really hard. Is he chasing a little bit? Maybe. Maybe it's time for him to figure a few things out. I feel like he went through this for a while there, for a stretch in May, where he kind of rebooted the computer and then got back on track a little bit. I don't know. What I'm seeing out of Jordan Walker, I find it hard to believe that we're going to witness, an epic crash here by him. Mm-hmm. But we have no choice but to analyze it and question it and wonder. And that's just because we've seen him we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly from Jordan Walker. And we don't want to go back to some of those.
Take this into perspective. Only 1 time this season has he gone 3 games without a base hit. 1 time, and that was at the beginning of the season.
Remarkable.
So, hey, dude, just get on base in any capacity. Like, as long as you're seeing the ball, you might have one hit here and there every night. But I take that over, striking out 20 times in 50 at-bats.
And I fully recognize, let me be clear about this, that we're talking about the National League leader in runs batted in.
Yeah.
And we're nitpicking right now because that's
You're nitpicking,
how
Bradford.
I am.
He is. Marshy, get him.
Because that's how transformational Jordan Walker has been in 2026, okay? I'm just being realistic. I'm just citing a few, not cherry-picked facts, but facts nonetheless. Because when you see... No. Hey, 57 ribbies in one hand, chase rate of 40% in the other. It all goes into the big picture because when you are striking out at a rate nearly twice as high as you have throughout the previous month, the biggest reason why we're pointing, or I am pointing out this stuff, this content, is because this guy has been the single greatest driving force in your lineup. He is the biggest reason why you are in the number one spot, wild card wise. He's the reason why you are excited now about having a guy in the middle of your order, the likes of which you haven't seen for years now on end. And so if you see a little bit of a dip, and given the overall performance of this team so far this season, I think you reserve the right to modify, to adjust the expectations somewhat. And that has as much to do with everybody else in the lineup around him. Now, thankfully, if you look at the other side of the coin, when it comes to the top four in the order, how about flipping it to J.J. Weatherholt last night? It wasn't a great night all the way around for your St. Louis Cardinals. Well, J.J. Weatherholt, though, found a way to reach base 5 times. This is not something out of the ordinary that we're seeing from the young man. Average-wise, he's now approaching 270. And I saw earlier today, Marshy, a stat. He has actually entered the top 5 National League-wide when it comes to WAR. He is surging.
Yeah, he's the Rookie of the Year.
Without a doubt.
I think he's got to be, right? Who else would be challenging him?
Sal Stewart in Cincinnati. At least that's what I see all the Reds fans putting on X.
Well, then they're probably not biased at all.
Where's the defense? Where's the Weatherholt-worthy defense? And dare I say, we're not just talking about a St. Louis star already. This guy merits real all-star consideration.
He's recognizable around the league now. You see that he's getting on MLB Network, ESPN, the Big Show interviews. Like, he's got a lot of stuff going on. To me, too, he bats leadoff. I value that. And when I look at a rookie batting leadoff almost the entire season and doing what he's doing, and then defensively, he's not a second baseman. He is here, and he's playing elite defense. I don't see how anybody is better than him in the National League as far as a rookie is concerned.
Yeah, so right now you look at the odds, and this is according to ESPN.
The ESPN.
As of a few days ago, J.J. Weatherholt minus 110 to minus 120 leads that group. Sal Stewart, who I just mentioned, of the Cincinnati Reds, plus 200 to plus 350. Nolan McLean of the Mets is third. Connor Griffin of the Pirates. Bryce Eldridge. We actually just got a text from the Air Comfort Service text line. The 618 brings up Carson Benj, and he's also on that list as well.
Unfortunately, an irrelevant team though. That factors into the discussion. I think.
If you have a kid,
all of these teams right here that these players play on are all irrelevant right now.
Well, and if you have a kid like J.J. Weatherholt who's batting leadoff, putting up the number on a playoff contending team like that, you'd have to think this team is a playoff contending team because of said player as well. If they didn't have J.J. Weatherholt, who would they have there?
Yeah.
Who would the Cardinals be playing there? Would they be playing at the same clip as J.J. Weatherholt? Who knows, right? But right now you have to look at it and say he's a piece of the reason this team is playing so well.
Now, among Walker, Weatherholt, and Burleson, obviously those guys, that trio, it has proceeded to carry the bulk of the freight, the offensive freight, for the Cardinals so far. Herrera, I think we're still waiting on a little more. Remarkable in terms of getting on base consistently. But
it's James' fault. He keeps picking him for the home run derby.
I'm not picking him anymore.
As you look ahead to the second half of the season, all factors under consideration, who is most likely to be the linchpin during the stretch run, maybe even leading up to the All-Star break, however you want to slice it, for this team offensively? What do you think? If you had to isolate somebody.
It's pretty hard not to say Alec Burleson. I think. He's just been super consistent. I mean, is he as flashy as Jordan Walker is at times, or is it impressive because a young guy like J.J. Weatherholt? Burley's just been solid, man.
Yeah, you want to talk about runs batted in. He's also up there in the National League as well. I'll go with Jordan Walker, though. I mean, it's hard not to.
Oh, yeah, that's a real tough one.
Well, no, he's the guy that he's driving in all the runs.
Just
like
relax.
him and
Marshy,
Burley.
Relax. Gosh.
Last year,
Jamie,
I believe I said Mason Wynn. That didn't age very well, but that tells you a lot about the 25 season.
Yeah. Jamie, if I had to ask you a question and you were to give me an answer on how many RBIs that Ivan Herrera has this season, what would your guess be?
Oh, wow. How many he has? Oh, probably not as many as he should. Gets on base a lot. I bet he has a lot more runs scored than he does RBI. Let's see.
You would be right on that statement.
For the season?
For the season.
32.
Wow. 31.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. Last year, he had 66 in 107 games currently. Played 73 games. He has played in every single game this season.
What are his runs scored?
Runs scored, he's at 49. Yeah. Last year, he was at 54, so he will eclipse that shortly.
And
he's always on base, man.
Yeah. Let's not take the health collectively for granted, because Herrera has been flawless in that regard. Walker and Burleson.
Bradford, we just got to stop you right now. I said
missed
some
one game
stupid
apiece.
stuff yesterday, and it backfired on me.
Second half concerns.
You got to just be careful in here, Bradford. All right, that was the biggest question of the day. Again, the daily drop will be next here. Continue to send us your mic drops. We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN.
Next Friday night, the future of the St. Louis Blues is on the clock, and you'll want to hear every second of it. Tune into 101 ESPN as Alex Ferrario and Donnie Fandango from the Last Minute Blues podcast host a special live NHL draft show. The Blues are loaded with multiple first-round picks, meaning this draft could shape the next era of hockey in St. Louis. And the boys will be breaking down all the picks, all the moves, and all the rumors as they happen. Who are the Blues taking? Will they make a move? Alex and Donnie will have you covered with instant analysis, special guests, and reactions all night long. 101 ESPN's live NHL draft show next Friday starting at 6 p.m.
Supported by Jewels on Hampton, paying some of the highest prices for gold. Visit them at jewelsonhampton.com.